You guys are good to go.
I'm so punchy.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the August 21st, 2025 meeting of the Town of Southampton Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held live and also via video conferencing in accordance with the Town Board's enactment of Local Law 14, 2022. Our next meeting and those following will also be held in person here at Town Hall and will continue to allow for remote participation. So please keep checking the town's website for updates and any new information. If you wish to view tonight's live meeting only and not participate, please do not join the Zoom meeting and instead go to the town's website for viewing. With that, I'd like you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For those of you with us here tonight, in case of an emergency evacuation, please exit through the rear doors of this room to one of the staircases across the hall and continue downstairs and out through the main entrance. Do not attempt to use the elevators during an emergency. In case of a medical emergency, the automated external defibrillator and first aid kit are both located in the hallway on this floor opposite the elevators. Restrooms are located across the hall. We'll begin this meeting with public hearings. We have applicants and members of the public here with us live and also standing by via Zoom webinar, which is being moderated by CTV. CTV will mute the speakers on Zoom until it's their time to give testimony before the board. Please be patient. If you find you're having difficulties accessing the hearing, visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Also, for those of you in this boardroom, please silence your cell phones and refrain from speaking to one another as it interferes with the recording of our proceedings. Tonight, board member Helen Burgess is participating via Zoom. A reminder that applicants, agents, members of the public speaking other than attorneys will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. In order to consider properly every application before us tonight, individuals commenting on a particular application have a time limit of 3 minutes. Also, before handing in any submissions to the board tonight, make sure the documents identify the ZBA application name and tax map number. Application name should also be written on your certified receipts. Unless otherwise stated, at the end of an individual application hearing, all applications will remain open for written comments for all purposes until a set date. Those written comments can be addressed to the members of the board and sent via email, mail, and or dropped off at Town Hall to Town Secretary Candace Cowell in the Building Department. At this time, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of our August 7th meeting.
Motion approved.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mrs. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Revan.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. John, would you like to take us through the agenda?
Yes. Turning to number 11 on the agenda, Utopia Properties LLC, 599 Dune Road, West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-392-2-3. I move to adjourn the hearing on this application to October 16th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Revan.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
The decision in the application of Matthew and Tracy Marafi, 79 Inlet Road West, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-176-1-6. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to September 4th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Revan.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald. Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Decision in the application of Elizabeth Girardi Schoen, 11 East Dunellen Road, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-299-1-26.1. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to September 4th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia. Mr. Revan.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
The decision in the application of Bart Carfarella, 17 Dock Road, Remsenburg, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-366-1-10. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to September 4th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia. Mr. Revan.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
The decision in the application John and Meredith Noonan, 284 East Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-230-1-15. I move to reopen the application for written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair
I
votes aye.
move to close the application of John and Meredith Noonan for decision later tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The decision in the application of Dana R. Rubin and Robert J. Gottlieb, 60 Noyak Harbor Road, Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-4-1-73. I move to reopen this application for written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
I move to close the application of Dana R. Rubin and Robert J. Gottlieb for decision later tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Finally, the decision in the application of South Dune Builders for Cricket Path, Remsenburg, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-380-1-27. I move to reopen this application for written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
I move to close the application of South Dune Builders for written decision later tonight.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Turning to number 1 on the agenda, application of Catherine Hickey, 68 Homewood Drive, East Quogue, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-319-6-28. Applicant requests relief from Town Code Section 330-6, General Regulations, that references 330-11, Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations, for a principal front yard setback from 40 feet to 32.8 feet for a proposed front covered porch on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
Order's jurisdiction, Madam Chair.
Okay. This is a minor variance, so it's not subject to public hearing. Unless there are any questions. John, this was your application?
No questions.
Just make a note that on the survey, the shed has been relocated in accordance with the building department's recommendations. Okay, so let's take we're going to put this over for decision tonight. Correct, Kathleen?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
No other action required at this point?
No other action.
Okay.
Okay, number 2 on the agenda.
You have to vote.
Oh, we have to close it?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
let's
so
close it.
since it's my application, I'll move to close the application for written decision later tonight.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, number 2 on the agenda, minor application of Andrew Hoffman and Lisa Hoffman, 26 Bridle Path, Remsenburg, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-368-5-31. Applicant requests relief from Town Code Section 330-6, General Regulations, that references Section 330-11, Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations, for a principal front yard setback from the north property line, Mark Court, from 60 feet to 45.2 feet for a proposed addition, and from 60 feet to 45.6 feet for a proposed covered porch, outdoor kitchen, and any other relief necessary.
Order's jurisdiction, Madam Chair.
Helen, this is yours.
This is mine, and it's a minor variance. There'll be no public hearing, and we'll have a decision at the end of the evening.
Second.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, and number 3 on the agenda is another minor variance application of Barry Gordon, 153 Summerfield Lane, Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-104-2-21. Applicant requests relief from the following sections of the Town Code for proposed tennis court, Section 330-6, General Regulations, that references Section 330-11, Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations, for an accessory side yard setback from 20 feet to 15.3 feet from the north property line and from 20 feet to 15.3 feet from the south property line, and any other relief necessary.
Order's jurisdiction, Madam Chair.
This is mine, and this is a minor variance, so we don't have a public hearing. And I propose that we close the hearing, we close this application, and we have a final decision this evening.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair voted aye.
Julie. Number 4 on the agenda, the application of Corey Burak and Kathleen Burak, 10 Beechdale Road, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-191-2-14. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed 2-story addition on a non-conforming lot. Section 330-6, General Regulations that references Section 330-11, Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for a principal front yard setback from 40 feet to 33.2 feet, and Section 330-84D, Pyramid Law for a sky plane encroachment to the east of 656 cubic feet and any other relief necessary.
What is jurisdiction, Madam Chair?
Okay. Let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address.
I'm Barbara Radican, New Jersey, 37 Watchung Avenue in East Mauritius, New York.
This is David Radican. We have offices at 33 Montauk Highway, Quogue.
Great.
We're agent for the owners.
Okay, good. So tell us about this application.
First, let me prompt you. I don't know if you remember or not, I'm profoundly deaf. I can read lips, and I have an app. So, and Barbara's my hearing, so hopefully we'll get through this. This is a situation where the subject premises consist of a tiny lot of 11,000 plus feet. It's an R20 zoning. It's located at 10 Beechdale Road in Hampton Bays. The premises are also identified as Suffolk County Tax Map 900, 191, Block 2, Lot 14. The subject lot consists and features a 2-story, 1-family home with attached deck, hot tub, an outdoor shower, and fencing on 3 sides. The certificate of occupancy was dated July 29, 1968, but the home was built much earlier than that. It was built in the early 50s. For a 1-story dwelling, it was built prior to November 14, 1957. An updated certificate of occupancy known as C16772, dated October 4th, 1995, was also issued for this home. And then it, with a garage and a basement after a building permit was issued. Certificate of compliance dated June 22nd, 2000 for the 2nd story, 1st floor extension and addition. I have all the C of Cs and certificate of occupancy, and I can hand those to legal. They're also a part of the application documents. The existing structure, oh no, there was another ZBA application for relief, and that's dated May 2nd, 2019, for an as-built outdoor shower and an AC unit that needed setback relief, side yard setback relief. I have that document and that decision. I believe it was also in my documents presented to the board. The Burks are planning a 22 by 21 foot 4-inch addition that equals 770 square feet of habitable space with a basement of 428 square feet. The homeowners are seeking relief from Town Code 33011, Table of Dimensional Regulations, for a principal set yard setback of 40 feet to 33 feet 2 inches, and some minor relief from 330-84D, the Pyramid Law, for a south sky plane encroachment of 656 cubic feet. The placement and design of the proposed addition fits well with the neighborhood and does not create anything that would be unwelcoming. I have a picture, an aerial picture, and a front yard picture, along with the survey, if it would orient you better to see where it's being planted. I don't know if that's necessary, but if you
I think we have them.
would like that this or something. Can you stand these in?
I guess you can just.
Barbara, they go to me.
Barbara, take them
Go
to,
to me first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Shall we do it?
Am I supposed to have these? Okay. You want them? I don't know if he wants the board to have them. Ask Dave, I don't know.
So, do you need the board to have
Say it
those?
again?
Do you need the board to have those?
No, just hand them back. Hand them back.
Okay.
Candace had to take two, so
okay, we'll share.
you want to just pass them?
Yep.
Yes.
Just anything that he can split, I have to just take a copy of the file.
All right, thanks.
If you're not familiar with this neighborhood, 10 Beachdale, it officially was a little cottage community, small lots, a lot of slopes. So this house originally was like a 600 or 700 square foot cottage. They tore that down, built a bigger home, put another addition. The second story addition required previous pyramid relief. I have the document and the decision. It gives no square footage of what relief was allowed and given and granted. Our quest to get 656 square feet additional space is paramount for this to take place. So,
I see the original.
yeah.
Yeah, it has no cubic footage on it now. No, wait a second, does it? No. Okay.
Couple of questions.
Yeah, Kevin is lead on this application, so he's going to start us off.
So a few things struck me. One, I did go to the neighborhood and I did drive around. And it was obvious that the topography in the community is undulating and the houses are all various heights located through that. So that's important. And one thing that I'm having a little trouble trying to understand is I could not discern from what I'd received what the percentage of coverage on the lot is at present, and what would the coverage be on the lot with this request.
Stated on
I'm not sure it was on the survey. I'm sorry, you're right, there it is.
The allowable
Coverage
The
is
allowable lot coverage is 20%. The surveyor shows an existing lot coverage of
11.8, okay.
11.8. Is it going over the 20?
Yeah, so-
Adding 482 square feet? I don't believe so. But in a final survey, we'll plot that.
All right, you need to put that in the final survey.
Okay. So, second thing that I wanted to fully appreciate is the first floor is proposed to have 9 feet of height, and the second floor is 8 feet with the cathedral ceiling. And I'm just wondering how, what consideration was given to reducing the size of both floors such that the pyramid relief requests could be lessened? Let me know if I'm,
No, sometimes it stops.
yeah, okay.
Okay, your concern was that you found there's portion of the first floor is a 9-foot height?
Part of the pyramid relief is caused by a cathedral ceiling on the second floor and a 9-foot ceiling on the first floor. And I'm wondering if that can be reduced such that the pyramid relief request is lessened.
I mean, if we change the, if we change the roof pitch, you'd pick up a few cubic feet. But I'm looking to match the existing roof lines with what's being proposed as for the addition. The first floor master bath or master bedroom is 9 feet because the existing master bedroom that's going to be extended is 9 feet. It's kind of a weird frame.
I did notice.
It was like, originally it was like, chicken huts thrown together. So not a lot of design went into it. We're trying to make sense of it. All of the bedrooms on the second floor are tiny, tiny bedrooms. The Burks have college students, when they bring them out to their summer home, it's one of the reasons they want to expand. The bedrooms are just going to get bigger, and the master bedroom is getting bigger. That's the purpose of the proposed addition.
Okay.
So, can we cut that down at all? I mean, I could put a flat roof on the front, but you wouldn't want to live there either.
Any other questions from my?
I don't think it's an
Well, well,
extraordinary amount of pyramid relief being requested, and nor do I have a problem with the front yard setback. Is there anybody else who wishes to comment?
I'm in the same place you are,
I'm
Susan.
agreeing with Susan.
Yeah. Okay,
Minimal
any
relief.
other? If not, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on 10, Beachdale Road, Hampton Bays? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard?
On Zoom.
Okay, Kevin, this is yours.
Okay, so let's, I'm going to move to close the hearing, leave the comment period open to September, help me.
5.
Thank you. With a decision on, help me again.
18.
Thank you. Yes, that's
Second.
the motion.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Ms. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Whitman?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 5 on the agenda, the application of Jesse and Stephanie O'Neill, 3 Wayne Court, West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-357-3-61. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for proposed second-story addition on a non-conforming lot. 1, Section 330-6, General Regulations that references Section 330-11, Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for principal rear yard setback from 60 feet to 36.8 feet, and a principal front yard setback from 40 feet to 29.8 feet for a roof line change to create attic storage. 2, Section 330-84D, Pyramid Law for a sky plane encroachment to the west of 499.33 cubic feet and to the east an encroachment of 141.1 cubic feet for a total sky plane encroachment of 640.43 cubic feet. And 3, Section 330-83C, yards for a 36-inch eve encroachment into the required rear yard and the required minimum side yard, respectively, where maximum of 18 inches is permitted and any other relief necessary.
I'm going to recuse on this one.
Madam Chair.
Okay. Mr. Macedonia is recusing himself on this application. Okay, so let me swear you in. Are you, any of you lawyers? Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, we do.
Yes. So individually, say your names and your addresses, please.
Stephanie O'Neill, 3 Wayne Court, West Hampton.
Jesse O'Neill, 3 Wayne Court, West Hampton, New York, 11977.
Lou Trentadue from 32 Design Studio, 133 Lincoln Avenue, Pelham, New York.
Lou, how do you spell your last name?
T as in Tom,
Yeah.
R-E-N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, A-D as in David, U-E.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so who's going to start us off on this application?
Sure. Thank you. Well, firstly, thank you very much for having us here this evening. We're the architects representing Jesse and Stephanie. They've owned the home since 2014. We've been interacting with them for a little over a year to design a second-story expansion for them. They currently have a ranch-style home on 3 Wayne Court. They're looking to expand the home in such a way that they will be increasing the number of bedrooms. Being that it's a one-story ranch, there are currently 3 bedrooms on the first floor. We're seeking to have 2 bedrooms on the first floor and 4 bedrooms on the second story. I just want to footnote that by saying that they have 4 children. We are also increasing the number of bathrooms. And we're increasing the number of bathrooms. There currently are 2 full bathrooms on the first floor. And we're increasing to have the 2 full bathrooms on the first floor will remain. The master bathroom will be remodeled. And upstairs, there will be 2 more full bathrooms. The reason why we're here this evening, as Mr. Leonard had stated, were the, do you need me to recite the variance conditions that we're here for on grounds?
No, we
Okay,
read them.
okay, thank you.
But you can explain them.
Sure. As you could see, it was a non-conforming lot. The emphasis was to increase the second story. They did not anticipate that a variance would be required. We had researched that early on with the building department, and we realized that that would be in our path to obtain. We're also, as you can see from the plan, seeking to extend the second story out the back and out the front. And the reason for that is because the front-to-back dimension of the current home is very narrow. We tried to work it out in such a way where maybe we would have no projection in the back and the front, but unfortunately, the need for a hallway space negated that effort. And then, in the interest of having a good design, unfortunately, we did get ARB approval. The owners, ourselves, and the builder, who happens to be Stephanie's uncle, we all agreed that perhaps a roof skirt on the front overhang and the rear overhang would give the house more character. It would look better. Now, one of the other reasons we're here, as Mr. Leonard had stated, is because of the sky plane concerns. We initially were trying to make the home work with a hip-style roof, a pyramid-shaped roof, if you will. It did not look right. It didn't seem to be in character with the design that they sought to achieve with the results that we were aiming for. It also ended up being more costly with the need to have structural members posted down from hip intersections. One of the culprits for the sky plane condition is, although we're not increasing the height of the first story, which is currently at 8 feet, we're doing what's called a floor override. We have to do it with engineered wood lumber, and we're projecting over the front and the back. The owner does not wish to interfere with the living in the home. They want to stay in the home as much as they can during the construction. We're seeking not to damage those ceilings. And there were some wires going through the ceiling, so we couldn't take the floor members of the new second story and align them with the existing the existing first story framing. It's a term known as sistering. We had to do a box override. So we worked with them to try to diminish how much of the pyramid violation was into effect. And we felt that, well, we'll come before the board and see if we can get their relief for those conditions as expressed. At this time, there is no desire to do any other expansions in the future for the home. Original designs of the project had a continuous front porch, but that was diminished to simply be a portico, and it was predominantly because of budget. But again, we wanted the appearance of the home to still look something of an appealing nature. So that's why we had the roof skirt. I had mentioned we had cleared the Architectural Review Board rite of passage, if you will. This home was construed by the building department to need Suffolk County Health Department Services approval. So we're getting what's called a red stamp for that, which is an increase in sanitary system due to the number of bedrooms being increased. As far as I know, you plan to expand your family more? Okay.
We don't need to know
We don't need to know their oath on this. They did take a thing of oaths. We don't want to hold them to anything. Yes. Thank you.
The nature of this application is worked out with the building department in a very forward manner. You'll notice that there was a partial garage conversion. That's being, I'm going to use the phrase sanitized with this application. It's being legalized as part of this project. It will count as, it's really a home office, but we know better than anyone that the state law requires that it meets egress. It will most likely serve as their eldest daughter's bedroom at some point, but everything is being put in motion through the Department of Buildings to make sure that that is a code-compliant entity as need be. And the only other thing I could say is the survey showed that there was an existing deck. That was included in the lot coverage. We did present to the the zoning board, zoning information that showed lot coverage requirements. I think we're at 22. Wait,
23.
yeah, so, we have, I'm sorry, we have, oh yes, 22.29% as our final lot coverage. The setbacks that we presented for the board, as well as for building department review, were taken to those projections that we noted. The projections aren't living space, but again, those projections, those roof skirts go beyond the projected second story on grounds that they would look better. But we figured better to line up the absolute farthest, or I should say closest encroachment to any of the yards as necessary. Do you have anything you'd like to add to our presentation?
No, I mean, as far as, numbers and codes and, the architectural language that you're explaining. Yeah, it's really simple math, right? We have, 6 people living in a small home. We wish to live there and stay there and raise our children there. We're right near the schools. It's just a great place to live. It's a great town to live in. But we're busting at the seams, and our kids keep getting bigger and louder and crazier. So we'd like to move them up.
I think you also mentioned that no neighbors had any opposition. I think you've gotten the thumbs up from some of the neighbors.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we have other families that, I think will probably try to do the same now that we're doing it. That'll probably fall into similar situations. But yeah, overall, it's a great neighborhood, and we've received no pushback from anyone or reservations from anyone.
Julie,
Yeah.
this is yours. Do you
So
wanna
just a
start?
couple of questions for you, and you've preempted a lot of the questions I have with your presentation and your comments. How the neighbors feel about this always matters. I don't know if anybody's here, and we'll hear from them if they are. But you mentioned roof skirt a couple of times.
Yes.
I'm a
Oh,
lawyer,
I'm
not a
sorry.
builder, but can I ask you a question about that? Because it seems like in total, you're looking for about 1,400 cubic feet of pyramid relief-ish. If you do anything with those roof skirts, which it sounds like are aesthetic treatments largely, would it reduce pyramid relief at all?
Unfortunately, it would not. The roof skirts I mentioned were projections from the ceiling of the first story between the second story and the
See.
first story.
Okay.
Where did you get the 1,400?
Yeah.
I just added, I did
I
rough
got
math.
I got the 640.
There's 640 plus
Total.
499.30, no, am I misreading?
No,
that?
that's the 640 is the total.
Oh, okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
so it's not 1,400.
Okay.
So,
What she
Much
said,
better.
no.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
yeah, I
Thank
was
you, Madam
thinking-
Chair.
Yes.
thank you.
much better. And I guess the only other comment I would make, I did go over there, and it looks like it's going to be lovely, and it's a great neighborhood
Thank
to
you.
raise a family. Is that it does appear this is going to make it the biggest house in the neighborhood. And I think, one of the things we often think about is, can we expect everyone in the neighborhood therefore to be coming in and asking for similar relief? That's not really your problem today, but it is something I think is worth thinking about as a board.
If I could just add to that, Julie, so I went through the neighborhood, really nice neighborhood, and I understand why you live there. I understand your problem too. And the concern I have is this is a considerably larger house than the rest of the neighborhood now. And one of the things we're trying to grapple with is how does this all fit together, right? And there's a lot going on this lot. It's not the biggest lot, right? So I'd ask you to think about reducing the impact and the nature of the request with respect to coverage and the pyramid relief. Even though it's not the most pyramid relief we've ever seen, so I'll concede that. But if you're able to reduce that further, then that has an impact on how the rest of the neighborhood views what we approve and what they then will ask for. And that's not your concern, but that's our concern. So, just those are my reactions to your proposal in the context of the neighborhood you live in.
I have a couple of questions. What is the ceiling heights? Because we didn't get any copies of plans.
Oh, I did provide them.
Oh, you got them, but this is all we got is the pyramid relief. We didn't get the floor plans.
I believe you have
And
8-foot ceilings on the second story.
What are the ceilings?
Oh, the ceiling heights are 8 feet on the second story.
8 feet.
There's no cathedral ceilings either. The
What's going on in the attic that it's
lots of
as tall?
boxes of Christmas decorations. That's as far as I can say. There's no plan. There's nothing going in. Oh, if you do mean there's an attic being built over the garage, the front projection, the 1-story condition. That's coined as storage only. There's no plan for that. That was actually done to make the aesthetics of the home more appealing on grounds that we were afraid we're making such a nice second story and the front just seems very off. The existing roof line is a skewed gable, so it was a best foot forward on all parties involved.
You strike me as a very talented person who's given considerable thought to this.
Can you tell that to my wife?
I think with a little more considerable thought, you can accommodate the requests of some, with a little more thought, you can accommodate some of the concerns that you're hearing.
How would the board wish for us to address what you had said? Do you want us to make decisions now, or would we?
No. You don't have to make decisions now. So let me just go through. All right, so 640, you've got something over the existing garage that's going to be storage. Is there some room for reduction in that?
Well, the space over the garage doesn't encroach in the pyramid.
Oh, it's not, it doesn't affect the pyramid relief.
There is one thing I could discuss with their uncle, the builder. We could propose doing rafter joists, which would mean that the plate heights, meaning the walls where they meet the ceiling, instead of meeting the ceiling, the wall height would perhaps be 7 feet. The angle of the ceiling would slope up a bit, and the proper ceiling itself would be 8 feet, and that could lower the roof by perhaps a foot. Would the board be open to that decision?
We would certainly like to look at something like that.
Okay.
I'm wondering, why are we concerned with this when the application we just had just about the same amount of cubic feet of relief, and we were like, okay, close the
I
public
think it's the
hearing.
neighborhood. I think it's the first, as you admitted, you're going to be the first house in the neighborhood. So we're trying to look at,
I think
gonna
that
be a
we
neighborhood.
are going above and beyond. I think this is I see nothing wrong with this application. I have no problem with the setbacks. I have no problem with the pyramid relief. It's very modest in comparison to what kinds of
it
relief
is
people ask
modest.
for all the
I
time.
do agree with that.
And I really don't see why we would be dragging these people back for 600 cubic feet of relief. I just don't think it's fair.
I would like to say something.
Okay.
Susan, unless I'm wrong, it wasn't just a question of pyramid relief that Kevin was mentioning. It was the size of the house in relationship to the community. And I'm always in favor of having houses be not eyesores or too large, whatever you want to call it. So this is, for me, not an issue just of, it's 600 cubic feet, and that's relatively small. So I don't even know why we're bothering. So I do not agree with John, and I agree with Kevin.
And you're entitled to your opinion.
And I kind of agree with John. So, yeah.
I do as well. I'm with John.
I'm with John on this. The one thing I notice is that the survey is a bit odd, because usually I see where it says like 30, 36.8 and 29.8, but there's no line. There's just like a number, and you're supposed to assume that that is measuring the setback. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, where are you
You have
referring
to
to?
look at the bigger one. I did
all
that
right,
as well.
okay.
The bigger one
I
is.
have a bigger copy. Would you like that copy?
Just so you know, there are some surveyors that do that without the lines.
Okay. All right, yeah, I
No,
still doesn't do it.
Do you have this one?
Yes,
That's
I
our
do.
plot plan. And that's-
Which is
That's
just as
not a
good.
survey, it's a plot. But yes.
Just so you know, there are some surveyors that do that without the
I
lines.
haven't seen that before, so I was thinking that was a bit odd, but okay, if you tell me that that's
The plot
legit.
plan has it.
Okay.
We should
I
be
know the
fine.
numbers were correct, but I just was like, okay,
There's
so,
a lot going on with the site plan.
yeah,
We understand.
yeah.
I mean, just to comment on my neighbors, because that's who I live in and around. Does there hold weight to get maybe some comments from them? Is it?
We're going to open it up to
Yeah.
the audience, and they have a period of 2 weeks
Got
to
it, okay.
submit any written comments
Yeah, I mean,
before we
I'm-
make
I'm-
a decision.
Yeah, I'm comfortable even soliciting my own, you know, if
Right,
that's
right.
really what it takes for them to
Okay,
either comment on the scope of it, or even, like you said,
right.
if they, and now in return are gonna now seek out, like, well, I'm gonna go up now, well, you know, I have no problem doing that. I know my neighbors pretty intimately. I mean, my cousin lives next door. My life insurance agent lives across the street. My plumber lives across
There you
the
go.
street.
Now, there you go.
These are
Our
people that know.
librarian lives next door.
Yeah, school teachers. These are people we know very intimately. And
But I think it is a matter of,
yeah,
you know,
these
there's
aren't-
going
these
to
aren't
be,
seasonal people that
yeah,
are
it's
renting
going to
their
be neighborhood
homes. They're not,
change.
you know, summer people. These
Neighborhood
are people.
change. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
these things happen,
Yeah.
neighborhood change.
Yeah, but again,
Um,
we're comfortable doing that.
Okay.
If that's
Let me
really
see
the-
if there's
the kicker
anyone in
here.
the audience who wishes to be heard on 3 Wayne Court in West Hampton.
Yes.
Please come up.
How are you?
I'm fine. Are
So
you
my
an,
name
are you an attorney?
No, I'm not.
Let me swear you in.
Hi.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
So my name is Lou Casara, Louis Vincent Casara. I live at 73 Jagger Lane, West Hampton,
Can you spell your last name for me?
Cassara. I do own the home 4 Leland Drive right behind the O'Neills. And by no means would I want to stand in the way of their growth, of their family, and the development of the community. I am concerned about the height, of course, with the block construction and sistering up the joints. If every house along the way put in the same application and they sistered and they did all this, you might have a historical dilemma on your hands where every single house is, would it be what, 8 or 9 inches higher on the block construction? So is every single house going to come in and ask for a variance? That's one. And again, I want to see you get the growth within the allowable footprint, of course. I wouldn't want to see any obstruction going forward towards the front yard obstruction setback, where if you lined them all up, one house bumped out, it's going to look a little bit odd. And lastly, living in a house during renovation, air quality is terrible. So thank you very much.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to be heard on this application? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this application?
No one on Zoom.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from the board? Okay, Julie, this is yours.
Yes.
Well, actually, I just have one comment
Yeah.
I need to make. Where in the difference between this application and the one previous was rolling topography, an entirely different treescape in the community. All these houses are nearly identical in design and size and setback and impact visually. And I think that this proposal has substantially more potential impact. That is the concern. I think that I've registered and others, Julie made some initial comments to that effect as well. And I just think we have a duty to be a little bit more mindful of the impact we're having on the future of a community, that nobody else has this kind of relief requested. And we just need to be really thoughtful. And the relief is 2, one on the pyramid and one on coverage. And that's the issue we're grappling with. And I don't think that should be carelessly dismissed.
I don't think
Thank
we're
you.
being careless in dismissing it. I think your concerns are legitimate.
Well, if
We
I
hear
may,
them.
I think also when you're looking at the actual setbacks for this property, a 60-foot setback from the rear yard goes right to the middle of the lot. A 40-foot setback goes almost to the middle of the lot. So you wouldn't be able to build anything anyway.
That's correct.
Without the variance. So it's not like you're asking, I think that the lot is so terribly constrained, and that makes, to me, the relief that you're asking for much more reasonable than many applications I have seen before this panel.
Can I also ask about the coverage? Because were you suggesting that there was some way that you were going to try to reduce that coverage?
I thought we could trim back the roof skirts if need be. The roof skirts are the
Yeah, which part is that? Let me go back to the.
These are roof skirts.
Okay.
Okay, first story.
Okay, so
Okay.
I think we should try to look to achieve the lot coverage. If and you can do that in terms of written submissions to us. And I also see you have a proposed pool down here,
A proposed
a
what?
proposed pool.
Oh, the pool is existing.
It's existing,
Yes.
yeah, we have yeah.
So what kind of a rear yard coverage do you have?
I don't know if we calculated the square footage of the pool. I'm gonna
But-
take a look.
But, there may be a rear yard coverage issue as well.
Rear yard coverage is only accessory building structure. Do they only have a pool?
They have a pool, they have a deck?
No, we don't have a
We don't
deck.
have a
No,
deck
there's
anymore.
Oh,
We
Yeah,
got
oh.
rid of the
it
deck
says
when
it's
we put the
removed.
pool in.
Yeah,
I don't have information
Okay, so the
pertaining
wooden
to.
deck is gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was looking
Yeah,
at.
no, we
Okay.
got rid of that.
Okay,
before
because
we-
if it was the deck and the pool, it would have been an issue. Okay. All right, so maybe look at the skirts. If
I'm sorry, maybe what?
you look at the skirts, maybe you
Sure.
come back with a little lot coverage reduction. All right, Julie, so you can, as I said, you could do that in terms of if you've got some calculations, recalculations, you can submit them as part of a written submission.
Should I work out the logistics of that with Candace, or do I ask those questions now?
We'll talk in the hallway.
Yeah, she's
We'll talk in
the
hallway.
one.
I'll tell you in the morning.
She's the one, yeah. Okay, so Julie, this is yours.
Yep. Okay, so we are going to close the public hearing and keep it open until September 5 for written submissions. And we will plan for a decision on September 18th. You will work with Candace to figure out timing on submissions.
Second.
Ms. Kane,
Aye.
Mr. Leonard,
Aye.
Mr. Redmond,
Aye.
Mr. McDonald,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Number 6 on the agenda, the application of Emily Brandt and Eric Petra, 24 Dock Road, Spionk, Rumsenburg, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-366-1-7.4. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed accessory apartment on a non-conforming lot. 1, Section 330-11.2F, special standards to allow an accessory apartment to be located on a parcel with a lot area of 32,670 square feet, where 48,000 square feet is required, 80% of 60,000 square feet. 2, for a principal front yard setback of 14.8 feet, where 56 feet is required for a principal dwelling, 70% of the required 80 feet. 3, for an accessory side yard setback of 17.6 feet, where 21 feet is required for the barn, 70% of the required 30 feet. And 4, for an accessory side yard setback from 19.3 feet, where 21 feet is required for the barn, 70% of the required 30 feet. And 2, Section 330-11.2G, special standards, minimum and maximum sizes for a 1,160 square foot accessory apartment that is 163% of the main dwelling, where a maximum of 35%, 249 square feet is allowed, and to allow the accessory apartment to be 1,160 square feet, where a maximum of 1,000 square feet is allowed, and any other relief necessary.
What is jurisdiction, Madam Chair?
Okay, thank you, Kathleen. Either of you attorneys? Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please state your name separately and your address.
Eric Petra, 24 Dock Road, Spionk, Remsenburg.
Emily Brandt, also 24 Dock Road, Spionk.
Okay, who's going to start us off on this application?
Well, first of all, I've never done this before, so
Don't
thank
worry
you.
about it.
Thank you for your patience and your guidance.
We don't bite.
Well,
Me neither.
some of us.
John.
We'll be
Some
fine.
of us don't bite.
So my father was born in the house next door to this house where my sister currently lives. This is like a map I just printed out of the area. It was all the Stacknick Duck and Turkey Farm, which was my great-grandparents' farm from the early 1900s when they emigrated here from Ukraine. And they had a house, a homestead house, and then built like 5 little houses for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then the house that we also bought was like originally a one-room schoolhouse about a mile away, and they moved it over to the land also in the early 1900s, and farm workers lived there for a long time. And then over the years, it became the property of my second cousin, Lorraine Chernoma, who lives next door. She worked for the Board of Elections for many years. my dad lived on Dock Road until he joined the Air Force in the 60s and went to Vietnam. And anyway, my cousin Lorene, when she retired, she put that property for sale because she had moved into my great aunt and uncle's house, her parents' house next door. And when she put it on the market in 2020, Eric and I were not planning to buy anything. But we were like, this cannot leave the family, because on Dock Road, if you've driven down there, people just like buy the properties and knock everything down and then build a large house. So we really wanted to preserve that property. And we like, you know, I grew up, and the on the property is that little house. It was a one-room schoolhouse that my great uncle added a second floor to, I think in like 1990, and a little garage. And then the barn was originally one of the, you can see like back here, that's my grandpa with the poultry. So the barn was back by the water, and my great uncle, who was a really great carpenter, like took half of it down and like, you know, piece by piece brought it over and reconstructed it on the land that we brought. I have like old photos, like it was originally, I think it was a duck hatchery originally. Anyway, so, and it was like in pretty bad disrepair. It was just used for storage. And when we bought the property, there was a tenant living in the house who just moved out about a year ago. And so we weren't living there. And we decided to rent, we're both artists. And we renovated the barn, a really simple renovation, just so that it wasn't going to get further destroyed. It was like rodent infested and all of this. We just put down a floor as like an open studio. We plan to use it as like a music and art and writing studio. And then since then, my parents, who this was sort of unpredicted because my dad's very stubborn and like they live in East Islip. Anyway, they're not going to move anywhere. They were going to die in that house, but the house they live in is like too big for them, and it's not accessible anymore. And so the only place on this earth where we might possibly get my father to move his body to in his later years is like where he was born, on Dock Road. So the hope now is to have my parents be in the little house and we live in the studio that is the barn. So all of the variances that you see, which I understand there's, I don't know. From your perspective, if that's like a lot or a little or big or small, I don't know. But we didn't change anything. Like everything that's there is what's been there for, you know, for generations. We just renovated the barn, and with the intention of really preserving the character of the community. So.
Cool history.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
It's very interesting.
Yes, and I have a letter. So like my next door neighbor is my cousin, who wrote very similar to what I just said in her words. She's a better speaker probably than me. And then my sister is next door. My other cousin is on the other side, and my cousin Marie, and then great aunt
There'd be
Evie.
a lot of neighbors complaining about this.
Not a
No.
lot of support.
I mean, they do complain if there's like
Oh, there's
a
that,
piece
yeah.
of garbage outside.
Well,
I hear
that
from
kind
everybody.
of complaint is not our province.
So it sounds to me from what I'm reading that you started to renovate the barn
Mhm.
to make it into an accessory
Yes.
studio, and then decided to change it, and then the building department required you to get all of these variances after looking at the property. Is that how this all came
Sort
about,
of.
kind of?
So like one piece that is missing from that is that, again, like this is sort of an iterative, like we bought the property not, I think now we have a clear idea of where we're headed, but at the time we were like, let's see how this unfolds. And when we went to close out the permit for the barn, the electrical inspector, I believe his name was Ron, I think, came through, and the contractor had put in a 220 line, because the contractor, I guess, thought like, if you ever wanted to do something, it's here.
Like a washing machine
Yeah,
or a
because they did
refrigerator.
like foam
Exactly.
insulation, and he was just
Or
like,
an oven.
we're gonna do this now, like even though you don't need it, but if you ever do need it, you can plug in, because we're doing the foam insulation, it'll be hard to do it later. And Ron was there, and he was like, you have to pull this whole thing out. And
They're like, great, it's trapped.
he's like, and it's gonna cost all this money, and you have to have the whole wall open and all of this. And you know, he was very nice, and we chatted for a long time, and we were like, well, what are our other options? And he's like, the only other option is to permit it as a habitable space instead of an accessory apartment. We were like, okay.
Accessory building.
Accessory building, yes, thank you. So we were like, okay, we'll think about it. We go down to the town. The staff has been really helpful, explaining things to us. We're trying to figure out what's happening. And sort of in that time was when my father approached me and was like, I think that maybe we would like to live out there if that's at all possible. And at that point, it was like, okay, well, if that's where this is headed, then obviously it makes sense to.
These structures were there.
Yes.
They were all there. So I'm just wondering,
fact,
like,
the barn
okay,
used to be
suddenly
twice the size.
you're needing setback relief for the house, and suddenly you're needing setback relief for the garage. That was just, it happened.
Right, like
it
that
just
garage,
happened.
like my grandfather sold that land to somebody who like 2 years later sold that land to the town, you know? So
Okay,
like.
but it was just in the,
It's just always been there.
in the course of
Well, it's
inspections.
cleaning it up.
Right, and so now you're just cleaning this up.
We're
Okay.
cleaning up for our
Okay.
ancestors, I
So-
think, probably.
But just a clarification, you never got a variance for an accessory building, the barn, because
No, but we
accessory
had it.
buildings are generally limited to 25% of the principal house. That's what my question was. And how this, the building permit went through. I mean, you got the inspection, the whole
Yeah, yeah.
thing, but I'm wondering, how did that happen without
no idea.
coming to us to get a variance on the
On the
on the
size.
accessory building at 25%, no less than accessory apartment at 35, so.
Ask a question on that?
Sure.
Is it because it was already,
Yeah, it could be
Pre-existing?
pre-existing
because it's
non-conforming.
pre-existing,
Yeah.
or is
Do you
it,
have any
I
idea
don't
of
know.
what year?
But it was a barn before, and it was gonna be renovated to a habitable studio. Would it not require?
But it wasn't gonna
Not
be
if it was already
to
there.
habitable, it was
It was
just
gonna
gonna
be
be
Stu-
to
like
accessory.
an art studio?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, so you,
Okay, so that would not be
all right,
habitable
so the
space.
clarification is that they did not need to get a variance for the accessory building,
Building.
even though it's
Much larger than the
much
main
larger, yeah.
Yeah,
primary residence.
it's hard to say. Couple issues here. It's pre-existing, so
Right.
and also I know we talk a lot about the so-called 25% rule.
Yeah,
But that's not
It's a guideline.
statutory, right?
It's a guideline, yeah.
So it's a measure, but at the time, the building inspectors who were looking at it may have felt that it wasn't necessary to get a variance because it was pre-existing.
Okay.
I just
very-
need
That
clarification
clears it
on
up.
that, yeah,
That clears it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, John.
I don't really have many questions because I think that the relief that's being asked for is not incredibly significant. These buildings have been sitting. How long have these buildings been there, if you know?
Well, the little house has been there since probably like the 40s, but the building itself was built in the late 1800s, and then the barn was from around 1910 or 1920, but
And the frame garage?
was moved in 1979.
Yeah.
The frame garage would probably be, I'm guessing, around 1940 or so.
Okay, so they've
So
been
the-
here a really long time.
The implementation of zoning was 1957.
Exactly. All of this
Before
predates it.
1957 is
Oh, yeah.
Grandfather.
blessed, for lack of a better term.
Right. Right. So that factors in very heavily for me
Yeah.
in terms of granting this relief. I can't imagine that any of your neighbors have any issue with any of
anything
this,
can
given that
happen,
it's
but-
been there since the 1900s.
There are some concerns, I mean, first of all, I didn't see any plans. Do you have
It should be in there.
I didn't
Or
see
there's no more,
plans.
I
there's
didn't
no
get any
more
plans.
construction coming.
Well, but I don't see a layout for where the accessory apartment is and, no. So,
You just had in your hand.
Yeah, it's not really.
And the plan of the,
It's typically just like this.
it's
It's
just
just an
open
open
floor
space.
plan.
There's
There's
no walls or anything.
or rooms built
and,
out.
but,
Right here.
No,
no, we don't have the small.
I didn't get anything.
No, so
I don't.
I would like a copy.
Yes, this. Here we go.
Right here.
There's a layout on the bottom. I think this is
Oh,
this
that's
the
it,
apartment.
this.
Honestly,
The barn and
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
house.
all right,
Yes.
okay,
Everything together.
all right, great.
Got it?
I've got it, but the only other thing is that, again, in terms of, precedent, and while it isn't cut and dry, that has to be 35% to be an accessory apartment. I mean, what is the area of the actual apartment? Do you know?
About like.
Of-
Have habitable space?
Yeah, the living space, not the
I
studio.
think it's like
11.
wait, of the Former barn or of the house?
In the barn.
It's like about 1,100 square feet.
Yeah, it should be on.
All right, so, and
Looks
how
to be
large is?
45 by 45 and change by 30.
Which is like 13.
Oh, here are the out area
1160 in the
calculations.
advertisement.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
legal ad.
That's, yeah.
It's 1160.
The accessory apartment is 1160. The total habitable of the residence is 711.
Well,
Very
we,
small.
How
we,
much is
we,
it, 711?
711 square feet.
Okay, so,
First floor has 500 and, if I could read this, 6, and the second floor has 205.
so I'm trying to make a distinction between this and something else. When somebody else comes in and says, we want 168%,
Yes.
so I'm trying to find a way to make a distinction. First of all, pre-existing barn.
Pre-existing, I think.
Right,
is-
is a big factor. But if we can look at just the apartment aspect, not the studio aspect, and how does that relate to the principal house? Do we have a percentage on that? Do you know what I'm saying? Am I making any sense?
No, you are. My question is also, how is the septic? Is there a separate septic? Are we putting in new septic?
We put in new septic.
Is it the new IA?
And yeah.
Yeah.
New
it
technology
covers
septic?
everything. Yeah.
So you don't need,
They gave
you
us
don't
the
need
grant.
help
That's
and
all.
everything.
Yeah.
No, we've done everything with the Board of Health, more or less. They're just waiting on the variance to do the final stamp. But the new septic covers more bathrooms than are on the property.
Okay, yeah, that was just a question, because we're adding an apartment to it was a barn at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
How large is the principal building? Do we have a square footage on that?
It's 711
711.
And that's the
711
principal building,
is the residence,
the residence. And how large is the,
1160.
so the entire apartment, the studio apartment is 1160?
It's
All right, so it's
literally
100.
one open floor
I can't
with a
like,
bathroom.
Yeah, I mean,
That doesn't make it. I can't make the argument.
You can't make what?
the whole thing looks like an apartment more than it looks like a studio.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Because of the bathroom?
Well, I'm
That's the
existing
house.
first
That's the
floor
house.
is a kitchen.
That's the house.
That's the house.
house. Okay,
It says
I'm sorry.
existing
Thank
first
you.
floor residence.
All right,
Yeah,
First
right
floor
next to
is
that.
the,
pretty confusing.
that's the barn.
All right.
Open space next to that is the barn.
Okay.
Look, I think that a major public policy concern that we should have here when we are deciding this application is, A, the need for families to age in place, for affordable housing, for people to be able to profitably, well, not profitably in terms of financials, but to use their property in order to benefit their families as they grow older. I'm a proponent of affordable housing initiatives and stable housing initiatives, and I think that something like this we should be promoting. So this application itself does not bother me in any way, shape, or form.
So can I just ask for a unique fact pattern here, I think is distinguishable from other concerns that I had when I first read this. I still have a concern, though, with this notion that the accessory dwelling is so considerably larger. I'm sorry, the accessory structure is so considerably larger than the main, right? And I don't disagree with the policy outcome that you're describing. And there's a question of whether we should be fixing it or whether the town board should be fixing it.
Right, but I think you have to think of it in terms of the fact that the residence itself is only 711 square feet. And while the percentage looks big, it's only 300 square, 300 or 400 square feet more.
Situational. This is a totally different
No.
situation.
Listen, just help me through this, right? So only down the block, we converted the primary dwelling became an accessory dwelling, and a new primary dwelling was built.
Yeah, we did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So does that lend itself to a solution here so that the outcome doesn't look so bizarre? Or at least on paper?
I think all of these cases, all of these applications track. And we have another one on the calendar tonight with the same situation. You have a very tiny residence, and you want to put something that people can actually live in.
Yeah.
And how many people are going to be living in the main residence? Just your dad? Or your dad and
Well,
your
my
mom?
mom and my dad, and they're
Okay.
both, in their 80s, and then
Right.
Eric and I in the other
Right.
spot.
So, and
So
I
4
don't
people
think
total.
that you're going to have two people living in this 1,100 square foot space, which is basically like a ground floor loft.
It's like, yeah. Like a
Exactly,
studio.
Yeah.
yes.
So
It's not big at all.
it's not that, when you really think about it, it's not that big. My first apartment in New York City was 925 square feet.
Well, that's a lot.
Pretty low.
That's not huge.
It is.
New York City.
Tiny.
It's huge for the city.
Well, I think the
It
point
wasn't a one
being
bedroom, it
that,
was a studio.
This application seems like it has a very unique fact pattern, and it is distinguishable from other applications that we're going to get. And I think that's, Kathleen, do you want to make a comment?
Just one small note, I don't know if it will help allay any concerns, but the occupants can, the owners can occupy either the accessory structure or the main dwelling. So, in terms of thinking
Want
about.
to flip it and call the.
You don't have to call it, but they I wouldn't flip it. I hear what you're saying. I think that's form over substance, but if that makes the decision a little bit more palatable to you, keep in mind that the owners can live in either of those structures.
Mhm. So we can call either one of them a primary residence?
No. But
It's not like a,
it's form over substance, right? I mean, you
Right,
have
it's a
two
fiction.
different, you have two parties, two families living in two dwellings. One is accessory to the other.
As I said, I
Right.
think this is a very unique
Unique.
fact pattern, and I think it's, I think you're doing a good thing. It sounds terrific. It's going to be
Feels good.
a great place.
I think it's
to live.
interesting that we've had a few of these come before us 2 weeks apart. We have another one tonight.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Is there anybody else on the board who wishes to be heard? Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 24 Dock Road? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on 24 Dock Road? Okay, John, this is yours.
Okay, I move to close the public hearing on this application, hold it open for written submissions to September 5th with a decision on September 18th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Leonard? Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Good night. Okay, number 7 on the agenda, the application of Joseph Frederick Gaza and Blair Catherine Gaza, Scrub Property, Queog, Suffolk County Tax Map numbers 900-359-1-22.1, 26.1, and 900-359-2-9.1 and 10.1. Applicant requests relief from the town code section 330-82 lot width to allow 4 proposed lots within an old filed map overlay district to each have a 0-foot road frontage at the street where a minimum of 40 feet is required and any other relief necessary.
Jurisdiction, Madam Chair.
Mr. Gaza, you are an attorney, I
Good evening, board members. My
Good
name is
Go ahead.
Joseph Gaza. I reside at 5 Ogden Lane in Quogue. I am an attorney. I'm also in the real estate business. Okay? And I have before me present to you this evening an unusual matter pertaining to old filed maps. I don't know if you've had a lot of experience with old filed maps, but I've made it my specialty in my life because I started with very little money, and that's where I could buy land on an old filed map, and it's, okay? I'll start by saying that this application for variance before your board could be very simple, or I could give you an explanation.
Well, let me just stop you there because you gave a very detailed report when you submitted it. So I don't think you have to necessarily go over all of that. So let's
Okay.
just,
We'll
we'll make it concise, yeah, because I think everybody's had an
Chase.
opportunity to read that, so.
Together with my daughter, we own a 5 1/3 acre tract of land off of Peters Lane in Quogue. It's made up of 4 parcels, 4 separate tax parcels. This is the configuration of the property. When we first acquired this, the access to the property was supposed to be through Kathy's Lane, which is a road to the north that the town approved in connection with a subdivision to the north. Subsequently to the town's approval, They bought half of the lots in the subdivision, they bought 7 of the lots, and they bought the road, community preservation. So when they bought the road, I don't know if everyone can see this, but when they bought the road, the Kathy's Way, made my daughter and my property landlocked. So we're in a tough position now. The entire old filed map surrounding us, which is enclosed in this red line, was all developed. And this little corner piece, about 6 acres down the bottom, was what was left over. And the planning board, when they did this development to the north, known as Oakland Farms, they left Kathy's Way as the access for this 6 acres. That was supposed to be the way the 6 acres was going to be developed, because the planning board, under their rules, has to provide for the entire map of the plan, and that was the plan. Town board came in with community preservation, upset the plan, made us landlocked. We were in a tough position. What do we do? Well, because I specialize in this kind of problems, I negotiated with the neighbors, and I was able to, first, I negotiated by offering $50,000 for anyone who would give me a driveway to get in. That didn't work. Okay? Then I knocked on doors, I wrote letters, I visited people. In the end, there was one neighbor over here, the Anukowitz, they were father and son accountants from up the island. They said, we'll accommodate you with an access route. However, we want one of your lots. Okay. I was hesitant about giving up a lot, and I said, which lot did you want? They said, we want the best lot. Unfortunately for me, I gave them the best lot, the one with the X. Okay? I gave them the X lot. They granted me the 30-foot right-of-way, the easement. I now had access. I went back to the planning board. I've been at the planning board at this time for about 3 years with this map. It's going to continue. It's a 5-year planning board application. I now have access. I go to the planning board. I said, I'd like to develop my land into lots. It's 1 acre zoning. I had 6 acres. Now I'm down to 5. So I'm asking for 4 lots. The planning board worked on this with me tirelessly. All the staff members. We came up with a plan. This isn't my plan. It's a plan that was worked on by everyone. The town conservation board, the town trustees, the state of New York, the DEC, all the agencies got involved because there was a creek over here, the Aspetuck Creek. Okay? And we resolved all of everyone's concerns. I gave 72,000 square feet of land. I put in conservation easement to protect the creek. I have created the 4 lots with the setbacks for 150 feet for sanitary, the new sanitary systems, 100 feet, 125 feet for the house, and 100 foot no disturbance. So I complied with everybody. And I got right to the finish line of getting this map approved, and a wrinkle developed. The wrinkle was that a section of our code provides that, talking about the section, which is why I'm here this evening for a variance, section 330-82. It says the minimum road frontage of a lot at the street line shall be at least 40 feet. Now, I've been wrestling with the term road. I don't know if you spoke to Kathleen a little bit about it today before my phone went dead. I don't front, even with this 30-foot access easement, my lots do not front on a road. And I believe that a road is a public access, if I'm correct, Kathleen, maybe. I believe it's a public act. I believe that my lot fronts on a lane. Now, a lane is a road that's private. And this 30-foot right-of-way is private. It's not a public road. It's an access road, but it's not public. So because it's 30 feet and it's a lane and not a road, the planning board said, we don't have the requirement under the code of 40 feet frontage on a road for each lot. Okay? Now, I have 75 feet of frontage on a lane, but a lane is private and a road is public. So my request before the board, to sum things up, is to allow the access to these 4 lots to be over a lane, not a road, and to eliminate the requirement of a 40-foot frontage on a road and replace it with 75 feet on a lane.
So can I just clarify one thing, Ben? Everything that Joe Gaza has said tonight is accurate. Just to clarify one thing that I don't think is actually accurate. He's here, I don't want to use the term the planning board is setting him here because he's got 4 lots that are fronting on what's considered a lane. The reality is whether it's a lane or is a road, he's getting access over a piece of property or over an easement. No matter what way you pull it, it's not a road. So that's the reasoning, is because it's an easement access. Whether that comes from a lane or this, that's not really pertinent here.
With all due respect to Mr. Gaza, the code does not distinguish between lane and road. We've talked about this. It's access. So my recommendation would be, while I appreciate your argument, Mr. Gaza, it's not a distinction that the code recognizes.
Right.
What he needs is access. And the mechanism to get that access is a variance from this board.
Right.
Wouldn't effectively every flag lot have the same problem?
Yeah, this is the same application we've heard a zillion times.
So
Flag lots don't have 40 feet either.
Flag lots don't have 40 feet. Our code accounts for flag lot development, though. This is just pertaining to the ability to build on a piece of property and the minimum 40-foot, that's a state requirement that comes out of the state code, which is distinguished between flag lots.
But he has negotiated a solution. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right. You have an easement.
He has an easement.
I have an easement.
Okay, perfect.
You gave up a lot.
That needs to
gave
be
up a lot for
recognized
this.
by the town.
A lot.
A lot of them.
And I will just comment that the easement that I have, I obtained from the planning board, the form.
Yes.
Because the form, they have their own special form, which I followed to the letter, and that's the easement that I have. It's part of my application. I don't know if I can pass it around again, but
And I get-
No, it's in your application.
So
Okay.
are you planning on developing these properties? Are you planning, what is the plan?
the plan is to create 4 affordable lots.
Okay.
The area is,
Is that plan before the planning?
I'm going to let Joe finish. Because now I'm interested.
all right.
Let's hear what's going on.
What is affordable in the West Hampton Beach School District? A building lot of an acre.
Okay.
Would you say 500,000 is affordable?
We're going far afield. We don't need to go there.
Here,
No,
Joe,
sorry,
just-
let's come back.
What are you planning on doing?
This is for a 4-lot subdivision. He's using the word affordable unless he's selling the houses, building and selling the houses at the price points that we say at 400 and something thousand.
It's not
affordable.
Okay, yeah, so forget affordable. So you're putting up 4 houses.
I'm going to sell lots to builders who will
Who build
4
houses.
homes. That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
And they'll be building modest homes.
And
not-
they're required to stay within the building envelope that's on the survey.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything will be
Okay.
in complete compliance with every code.
Have
and
you spoken to your neighbors?
all of them?
All of them?
Yes.
All around you?
All around.
And what do they say?
A lot of them were opposed. They've been opposed for 12 years because it's been 12 years since I purchased this property. The last 5 years of which I've been before the planning board maybe 6 or 8 times. The board itself, before the planning staff, maybe 40 or 50 times.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
they just want to see the property preserved.
yes, that would be natural. Yeah, that would be natural.
Can I just Mr. Gaza, may I ask a question? And I appreciate that you might not answer this question, but for purposes of this conversation, let's assume that the ZBA granted that variance for road frontage, and because you got the road frontage, then the planning board was allowed to grant that subdivision. Would you then go back to CPF and ask for, and negotiate again for open space, given that now you have developable parcels and you might get a price different than you've already gotten?
I will expand on that.
Okay.
Or just answer it.
The planning board chairwoman, Jackie LaFaro, held me at the planning board level and said, I want you to go to CPF.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, that got my hair up in the back of my neck, because I don't think it's appropriate for one board to hold me up because I have to go to another board. I don't think that's appropriate. But I did. I went to CPF. Now, originally, CPF offered me $300,000 for the property, 6 acres, okay? That was the original start. And they said, well, you don't have access, it's not approved, they're not lots, they're not this, they're not that. But over the 12-year period that I've had this, I've been working on it. And now I have access. And now I had to give up a lot to get it, but I have 4 lots left. And I think I can get $500,000 price for these lots each, because they're 1 acre, they're in West Hampton Beach School District, they're for families, for local people that don't need a McMansion, and I think I can get that. CPF is not interested in paying that much money, and CPF 1 year ago, offered me a little more than.
It was in your documents, yeah.
And I accepted it. I accepted it because I was so tired of 11 years in application with the town, and fighting with all the neighbors and fighting to get all these approvals. I said, I'll just bring it to a conclusion. I'll take a hit and I'll sell it to CPF. I signed the contract 11 months ago with CPF to sell the property. Can't disclose the price because I'm not allowed to by CPF. CPF has not had the town board sign the contract in 11 months. The reason? They said that the town cannot purchase property with a lane or a right-of-way, we call it that has privileges for access, not only for the property that the town would be purchasing, but also for the lot that I had to give away. Because the lot that I gave away to get this access, they retained access over the access road also. So I'm not the only one that can use it. There's 5 people that can use the access. My 4 and the lot that I gave away to Nukowitz to get the access.
Yes. So to the extent that you gave that property away, the CPF will not buy the 4 other lots.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's because, not that I gave it away, that the easement, which
Right.
I obtained for this lot,
Benefits that lot.
That benefits them.
Right.
And it's the easement that the town planning board gave me a copy of, that I copied to the letter, that provides that all of the lots that use it, they have to share in the improvements, share in the maintenance, and I followed that rule.
So is it your opinion now that even if you were to get the variance relief that you're seeking here today, you still wouldn't be able to sell those lots to CPF?
I don't know, depends on their offer.
But that's
Well, no,
neither
you're
here
saying
nor
they won't
there
buy
for
it
our
because-
purposes.
If you said this was resolved, the access, maybe I didn't understand.
Well, how could it be? No, what I'm saying, you're saying to us right now that CPF will not buy those 4 properties because you have an easement there that benefits that 5th
That's
property.
Correct. That's correct.
So even if we gave you access for the 4 lots, how would that change the calculus with CPF? How would they suddenly be able to purchase those lots? They wouldn't.
So he's discounting that as an avenue.
I
to
understand.
pursue.
Well, but he's not. But I asked him what his opinion is. He said the opposite.
Well,
okay.
I don't know. I'd like to give you my opinion.
It's okay.
I don't know.
We're getting a little far afield.
Yeah,
I think.
to be fair, he was answering my question.
no, I
because I think
understand.
the neighbors will also want to know if that's still on the
And
table.
we're just looking into possible solutions.
Well,
Okay.
The easement would have to be redrawn to eliminate this party from using it. Because the town does not want to share. If the town buys land, they want their own access, they don't want to share. They don't want to be obligated, and that's what was explained to me by the attorney for CPF. Okay?
I think we need to hear from the community.
We will.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just if I may also,
Go ahead.
because this is a complicated project we have to deal with. This is Claire's project, actually. The other side of it is we got to deal with secra. We believe that, that this is an unlisted action for our purposes. I'm not really sure how it fits in with the zoning board action, which is typically a type 2 action.
Right.
I don't have an answer for this board, to be quite honest. We're not going to resolve it tonight, obviously. So that we got to deal with the secra as well. So I just wanted to keep that. So we're going to keep this open in my hands.
the other thing I just wanted to point out that, Tom Horton's, memo, he goes through a lot of detail.
Thank you, I almost forgot.
Yeah, no, he goes through a lot of detail, but he says the minimum paved width required for a common driveway is 18 feet. So if you have 30, you'd have a common driveway of 18 feet. So that doesn't seem to be an issue, is what I'm saying.
The report,
Yeah.
this report's dated 2020. 5 years ago. That's how long I've been at planning board.
Okay.
And referred to the town engineer. He studied it, a road plan, a layout. He says, you only need 18 feet.
Yeah, okay. All right, is there anything else you feel you need
Well,
to?
May I reserve a moment if there's comments from the audience?
Oh, absolutely, you can
Can I do
come
that?
back, yes, absolutely.
Okay, let me do that then.
Yeah, okay.
I'll leave my maps here in case they want to.
Okay, that's fine. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this matter? All right, you either can come to the podium or the table. Are you an attorney?
No,
Let me swear you in.
dentist.
Oh, well, then I definitely have to swear you in.
Open wide.
That was awesome.
Do you swear to tell the, hello, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address.
Donald Berger. My address is 31 Jeffrey Lane. And I don't know if you guys know
Mr. Berg, you just spell your last, make sure the correct spelling is B-E-R or B?
Beurger. Okay. So I just moved in February with my wife and a couple of daughters are around and a dog. But anyway, I'm just trying to understand what's going on here. For some clarification, I hope I don't waste too much of your time, but Jeffrey Lane is a street that's backed up to the green space that creek is on. My understanding is it's more than just a creek, that it's a way for fish to migrate or whatever, and CP, whatever you're talking about, is a land preservation fund that the town has to preserve green space. And what I think I heard you say is that he wants to sell his lots, and that the green space department wants to make an offer, and he's been waiting for 11 months for an offer, and he'd like to move along.
That's not exactly what it is, but
But keep going.
yeah, it doesn't really, that's not really
Okay.
too relevant.
So I lived through a pretty similar thing, but I'm not so sure about how this would impact me. But the reason why I'm here is because I've been impacted pretty heavily in a situation where my house was backed up to a lot of green space. And it so happened that the green space was owned by the Moonies, and they sold it to a developer. And one day I come home from vacation, and the entire place is gone. So I'm just got my antenna up, like what's going to be happening on the other side of this green space behind me? And again, from what I'm understanding is access was an issue. There isn't a road. There's only a lane. And again, I've been next to construction, and suddenly lanes become wide roads to accommodate big trucks that make lots of noise and probably his neighbors are afraid of. And I'm just learning that the airport is closer to my house than I thought it was. So I'm worried about how it's going to impact the people on the other side of this green space.
What street are you on again, sir?
Jeffrey Lane.
Jeffrey Lane.
Jeffrey Lane. Oh, does your house, is it to the back of one
Yes,
of these?
it backs up.
Backs up
Behind
to,
the house is the green space.
okay.
So
Which is
land,
a big reason why I wanted that house.
so the land that's already protected and owned by the town,
Yeah, I believe it's.
hold on, I'm trying to answer your question. The land already owned by the town is unaffected by any part of this conversation
Okay.
and won't change. We're talking about a discrete series of properties presently owned by Mr. Gaza and his daughter. And that's the only thing we're talking about, and the only impact of a conversation that anything this board does is only limited to that property and an access question. That's it.
Is Jeffrey Lane a dead end?
Um,
Does it, I see a circle. Does it is that a
yes,
cul-de-sac?
Yes, and there's a few houses there with streets, but there's no shortcutting or access when you get to the end. So again, I don't know how this relates to the road was stopped by the developer and,
Well, it would appear that there wouldn't be any traffic concern
Yeah,
for
I mean,
your
It
property.
seems like to me, and obviously I don't want to speak for Joe, looking where the properties are. I mean, there's not that you have any reason to be concerned about what's being built around you, but there's no new roads being constructed. Access to the lots are going to be over an existing developed property by way of what will be a driveway or a common driveway that will provide a direct route to those properties. It won't interrupt, as far as I could tell, the surrounding neighborhood. They're
Right.
not building any new
It's not going to come off of Jeffrey Lane.
It would come off of Peters Lane,
Yeah,
right?
right.
which is parallel to your street.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who wishes to be heard? Go ahead, you have to come up.
Mr. Bergen, I have a map that clearly shows, the board can see, if you'd like to take a look. Well, if you received this, you're in the immediate neighborhood.
So again,
Okay,
I
come on
received
over.
it, so I was wondering.
Stay at the
must
mic,
affect
please.
me if I-
Please stay at the mic.
I said, because I received this, I assumed, it's because it might potentially affect.
There's a radius that everything has to get noticed within a certain number of feet from the property. It may or may not affect you.
Properties that touch,
The,
just adjacent properties. Your property is adjacent to
Right.
one
So
of these
how
lots.
far is it from?
I'm not sure where your property is. Maybe you can point it out on the map. This is my property, the yellow property.
Right,
This is Jeffrey Lane over here.
right. So it's number 31.
Whatever that is.
Bring it up on the TV.
31 Jeffrey Lane.
Oh, that's the street number. That's great. You know what lot number it is?
Oh. Is this Jeffrey Lane?
So Jeffrey Lane is over here. This is Jeffrey Lane.
But if I read your plan correctly, there is a buffer zone at the back of your property. So these properties can be developed, but there is a whole open space between.
That's being preserved.
That's being preserved before it gets to your property.
I understand all
Okay,
that.
so I think
but
that the,
Noise, traffic.
well, hello. Noise travels. I mean,
That's
just
why I'm here. I'm trying
that
to,
one?
Yeah.
So what's
get
going to be
around
behind him?
the scope of what's going
Preservation
on.
is over here.
Preservation.
I don't see a lot.
Yeah,
Sir,
you have a buffer, and I think you would have to.
Okay, Dr. Berger,
Yes.
you're right over here. This is your house, okay? We're gonna put a little box there for your house. Jeffrey Lane comes in over here. I have already preserved 73,000 square feet, 73,000?
almost an acre.
Yes.
73,998 square feet of land behind your home forever. Put a
Right.
conservation easement on it, gave it to the town. The town was very concerned about preservation of the Aspetuck Creek. I just cut this right off of my land. I said, take it.
So this was your land up there?
Right up to the orange mark.
Okay.
So
When
now,
did that happen?
that happened 2 years ago. I gave the town the 2 acres. I didn't want to give it to them, but they wanted
They
it.
made you an offer you couldn't refuse?
They wanted to protect it. That wasn't enough. They said, we want to protect the Aspetuck Creek on the other side, further away from you. And I gave them a, what's the
75-foot buffer, right?
yeah, another 150 feet, is it? An additional 150 feet over here. It shows on the map.
I think the bottom line is that you're well insulated from this. So, you know,
you guys can talk about this later
You can talk about this outside, but it's a good question, and I think, you know, I think your concerns can be alleviated or eased.
I've been through it.
Yeah, no, I know, we've all been through.
Not necessarily that these are totally analogous, but.
Yeah, okay. Is there anybody else in the audience who wishes to be heard on this matter? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this matter?
I have one hand up.
Okay.
Correction, 2 hands.
Good evening, everyone.
Are you an attorney?
No, I am not.
Let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Regina McGuire Moynihan. I reside at 11 Peters Lane in Queog. I am one of the properties that is touching part of Mr. Gaza's property that is landlocked. I also wanted to let the board know, thank you for letting us speak on this matter. There are about 7 people who are trying to get into the Zoom and they cannot. It's coming up as invalid. So you're going to have some write-ins. And I'm trying to encompass all of their commentary. I've been scribbling. Okay.
Sure.
So my husband and I have owned our property for 21 years. And it's a beautiful area. The wildlife and nature is coming back tremendously with how well the creek has been doing. Once we had the problem with the fire retardant chemicals, it has become a wonderful place. The one thing that we can't do, and I need to firmly state this, is that we cannot go back to a 1904 filed map and use that as a basis for any decision that should be made on the area back there. There is no neighbor on our street who is in support of Mr. Gaza building. And, you know, everybody's been quite vocal. We've also spoken out to the planning board and the Peconic Preservation Society that they do need to go in and try to make a solution with Mr. Gaza and purchase the land. 2, relief from minimum road frontage. You can't go from 40 to 20 to 0 because that doesn't work either. Because there's a reason why you guys put that in for zoning. You know, the Peconic Preservation Fund Trust has really purchased a tremendous amount of that property back there and really helped preserve it for future use. And so that we have a sanctuary and an estuary, because Queog is known as a place for trees and wildlife. There is no comprehensive plan currently for Queog in its development. And I think that we really need to take a look at that. There is nothing off of Peters Lane that has adjacent lanes or roads with flag lots behind them. That is not anything on our street that has that. It's not indicative of the community. Everybody that lives there is we have a very lovely street. We have a lot of children that are there now. And, adding more houses, more people, it's a long dead end street. It just adds more congestion as well. I think that, and I do want to find out, like, there was a paper road, I think, when Mr. Gaza started buying his property. The property was landlocked when he bought it. So if there was a paper road, there was a paper road. It wasn't a real road. So I think that's something that he needed to own up to. I do think that the development is proposed and the scale is not correct on the map, that it's too close to the Aspetuck River. And putting flag lots in and taking trees down is going to cause less water absorption, which could be a big problem. Every time we have a heavy rain, it gets very flooded, and all of our insurances are impacted by that. Mr. Gaza also stated in his filing for this variance that that there are a number of houses on the street that are pre-existing non-conforming. Of course, that's why we have zoning rules now, so that you don't have homes that aren't made to a code. And here you have people coming to you day in and day out asking for variances to small things, like extending a front porch a foot. So there's real reasons why the zoning and planning committee does that. And, I think that that's the most important thing. Also, at number 25, if they're going to increase the size of that easement and you require everything to be there, that property is a very big pre-existing non-conforming with a multi-use rental on it. And if that's going to change and the size of that land changes, then I think they have to relook at that all over again. So I want to thank you for your time. My neighbors are all very vehemently opposed to this build. We really enjoy our wildlife. We enjoy the peacefulness, and there's nothing that exists currently off of Peters Lane that has secondary flag lots behind it or adjacency roads. So thank you very much for hearing me. We are in strong opposition.
Okay, thank you, Regina.
Thank you very much.
You have to come up. Wait, don't come up. We have to record it, so you have to come to the microphone.
Mr. Gaza, please address the board.
I'm going to address the board about Mrs. Moynihan's concerns.
Yes.
My lots that I'm creating are 1 acre in size. The zoning is CR 40, 1 acre zoning, okay? The lots on Peters Lane is like 35 lots. I think 33 of them are under an acre. Mrs. Moynihan's is about a ½ acre. She has 2 residences on her 1/2 acre lot with antiquated cesspools, okay? I'm creating 1 acre lots with the new AI system with buffers, protection under every possible protection for the environment in my map.
Okay.
The neighbors.
Okay, but let's,
Okay.
they're not
I
before
had
us.
to get that out.
All right, well, they're not before us.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody else on Zoom who wishes to be heard?
Yes, there is.
Hi, are you an attorney? We don't hear you.
There's no sound.
Let's see.
Now-
Do you
now
have
we
me
hear
now?
you. Yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Are you an attorney?
No, ma'am, I am not.
Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, please state your name and address.
I am Carissa Hartman of 15 Peters Lane in Quiog.
Okay, Carissa, tell us your comments. Hartman.
There we, sorry.
Can you spell your last name, please?
Yes, it is Hartman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everything that my neighbor Regina has already said, I myself and my husband also agree with everything that she has said. I second everything that she has said. To attest to what Mr. Gaza has just said about taking every step to be cautious about the environment, very clearly is inaccurate, as going and building on 4 acres will be destroying that environment. So I just want to point that out. And just to say that there are many people opposed to his plan, although I did hear him mention at the beginning of his speech that there was no one opposed. That's inaccurate. I don't have too much to follow up on outside of what Regina has already mentioned. I'm here just to be in support of what she has said. I appreciate how well researched she is and the things that she has already mentioned to the board. And I appreciate your time to hear me. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carissa.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else on Zoom?
That's it.
Okay. I wanted to ask, where are we on this with the planning board now? What's the status?
Take your time.
I gotta think, because it's not my subdivision, to be quite honest. Joe has been before the planning board many, many times, but he really couldn't get anywhere any further with this access issue. So he's gonna be nowhere with the planning board until this issue gets resolved, with the understanding. The planning board did submit comments to this board. They're very brief, they raised some questions and concerns about.
We got those?
You did.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very brief. It didn't make a definitive statement other than, these are the, areas of concern that we have,
Mhm.
But beyond that, we're gonna have to deal with secret. I'm not sure how we deal with that just yet.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Is there any
I'm
other?
gonna suggest.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, which is where I don't do this. I don't like to do these meetings, but I probably would suggest in this case, Joe, that we hold this open like we do all new applications. They hold it open because we got to deal with secret, and I still have to figure out what the process is.
And we had others that could not get through that now need to submit written comments, we
Well,
were
they gotta
told.
submit written comments.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
All
it
right.
may take longer than 1
So
week.
what's your timetable in terms of dealing with the secret? I mean, let's try to nail down this because Mr. Gaza has been really working on this for a long time.
I agree.
And so from our perspective, I don't want to be another holdup. So I want to know, what's your timetable on the secret?
I thought secret was eliminated under my plan.
I think it's another 11 years.
Right now, Claire, on our
Maybe.
memo, it's classified as an unlisted action. But I hear you, Joe. I hear you. We need to look at that a little bit, to be quite honest, because the other side of it is there's the zoning board application, which is clearly a type 2 action.
Right.
And we just want to make sure under SECRA that we're not segmenting anything, because you're not supposed to take an action in its entirety and take out and distinguish between a separate action that would be a type 2 versus another portion of the project that would be an unlisted or a type 1. So I just want to make sure that we're not.
So is it clear who has ownership of that activity? Because I'm with Susan. From our standpoint, I think we ought to try to keep it moving.
Did the planning board coordinate, Anthony?
No, it hasn't done anything.
No, because I'm sure
No
we don't have an
coordination?
environmental assessment form.
Okay.
Joe believes it's a type 2 action under SECRA.
It was in the planning board. If I can go through my files, I'll give you what it.
Not right now. No. We're fine.
Kathleen, what's your suggestion here in terms of the secret?
Well, the lead agency typically coordinates, and the lead agency here is planning board. So the planning board needs to send coordination letters.
And I
At least
I
start.
spoke to Claire briefly about it today, so.
So
Okay.
do we hold it open, or what do we do? What are we doing?
Yeah, I guess we're going to hold it open at this point, but I really do feel that we've got to have some, guidance in terms of what the timetable is. I mean, it's just, we can't let this stuff drag forever.
I know.
It's not fair to Mr. Gaza, Mr. Gaza. It's not fair to the neighbors. I mean, we need to get some resolution on this.
Get some closure.
Yeah, you gotta give us 30 days at least then.
30 days? Okay.
You-
All right, so
The
we're
question
gonna,
is this, 9:18, we have the 7-Eleven on, so do we want to go to 10:02?
Yes,
10:02, okay, so I'm going to make
all right, go ahead, Bob, this is
hold the
yours.
public hearing open until 10:02.
Second.
All right, Mr. Messionia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redhand.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gaza. Number 8 on the agenda, the application of Christine McNamara, 33 Island View Drive West, Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-16-1-75. Applicant requests release from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed accessory apartment on a non-conforming lot. 1, Section 330-11.2F, special standards to have an accessory apartment on a lot that has a lot area of 18,511 square feet, where a minimum of 20,000 square feet is required, and Section 330-11.2G, special standards, minimum and maximum sizes for a 573 square foot accessory apartment that is 48.1% of the main dwelling, where a maximum of 35%, 417 square feet is allowed, and any other relief necessary.
What is jurisdiction, Madam Chair?
Are you an attorney? Yeah. All right, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please state your name and address.
Christine McNamara, 33 Island View Drive West in Noyak in Sag Harbor.
Okay. So Christine, tell us about your application.
Yes, thank you. As Mr. Leonard summarized, I am requesting a variance relief related to lot size and habitable living space percentage requirement, so that the addition, which I am in the middle of having built on my home, can pivot and be revised to an accessory apartment. My family's goal in this project is intergenerational living. It is my desire to age in place in my home with one of my daughters, who is she and my son-in-law and my new granddaughter, who live here locally, are having the challenges that many young people do of finding affordable housing. And for us, this is an absolute win-win. We have been living together in my home for the last 24 months, and in this building process. I was contacted in the spring because I had initially come into this process hoping to be a candidate for one of the 1+ ADU applications. I was actually in the first tranche of applicants for that wonderful program, but I was originally kind of green-lighted, and then on further study, it was the issue related to my lot size was pointed out to me, and I was then told to seek a variance if I wanted to proceed and get back online. That didn't quite seem feasible to me, as by that time, I had a sense that it would be sort of the back of the line on that program, fairly so. But also in my family circumstances, my son-in-law and daughter had lost their local apartment, were living with me, they were expecting their first child, and we sort of looked around and said we wanted to move forward in what seemed feasible. And so at that point, the most realistic option seemed to be to build an addition, which the plan is for me to live in and for them to occupy the bigger home where my 2 children grew up. So that's it in a nutshell, I think.
Okay, well, this is mine, so I went to the property.
Oh, good.
Yes, and it's lovely, and the addition looks lovely. I did have a question about the front yard setback.
Yes.
I think the front yard setback is supposed to be 60 feet, is that correct? It's an R40? And I was just wondering, the setback is, for the original house as well, is less than that. So I was just raising that as a question as to whether that was ever addressed. And if we need to address it in this variance, then we should clean up whatever needs to be addressed. Kathleen, did you catch that?
I'm sorry, I did not.
All right, so I was Christine has an existing house, plus she's already built the addition. The setback, it's an R40. I think the front yard setback is 60 feet. It's at 40 feet. So there was some question it says it's entitled to is it entitled to C zone setbacks? I didn't know what that was. There was some reference to that.
It depends on the subdivision.
Yeah, I'm gonna need health answers.
Did you do a single and separate showing? Okay.
67, I'm okay with that.
I did get an
You got the
approved building permit.
I know, you did, but I'm still asking, if we have to clean up anything, I would like to make sure that we do it if we grant this variance.
Well, then she would need
We
setback
don't
relief
usually
for the-
grant C-zone unless we have a single and separate proving that she's entitled to that. Are you comfortable with that?
I'm presuming, but we have to verify that at the time that they got those permits, that something was produced that showed that they would be entitled to the C residential zoning.
Okay.
It wasn't in the file, that's why I'm
see.
asking.
Thank
So
you.
if,
Ownership since 65.
all right, so that it's not an issue.
Subdivision was done in 67.
I just want to make sure that if we're going to
Of
address
course.
something, that
Of
we address
course.
everything that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
you're telling me I don't have to worry about
It
that.
is on the department says
Oh,
it's
thank
C
you.
zone, it's on the front of the denial sheet.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
I only read the back of the denial sheets. I never read the front.
That's what I was looking for, yeah.
It's quite a lot of detail.
I guess there are two things you need to do. You need to get a variance on lot size, and, the lot size requires 20,000 square feet.
Correct.
You've got 18,511 square
Correct.
feet. It's a very minimal amount of lacking in terms of coverage or size. And the other thing was the size of the accessory apartment versus the size of the principal.
Correct.
And you have those figures again?
Yes, I can tell you those figures. So the existing home has 1,191 square feet of habitable space. And according to the 35% calculation, I should have 417 square feet. But in reality, my addition has 573 square feet of habitable space, so I am 150 square feet over.
Slightly above
Yes.
35%,
Yes.
which, as we keep saying, is a guideline.
Right.
So, so I have no problem with this application. I think you've done a beautiful job. It fits in with the community, the neighborhood there. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but it's very nice.
So can I also make a distinguishing feature in this conversation as compared to others? Driving by, you cannot get confused about if there's a subordinate structure, right? Because it's one structure.
One structure.
So there's no confusion as to what's the primary residence and what's the accessory residence. So thank you for solving that problem, because we weren't going to have fun with it. And then I think the combined size of the structure is no different than the size of most other regular structures in the same neighborhood. So this does not present itself as an oversized, overbuilt accessory unit, confusing the public as to which one is which. I'm perfectly fine with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else on the board?
Nothing to add.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on 33 Island View Drive West? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on 33 Island Drive West? Okay, this is mine, so I am going to, we're going to close the hearing. I'll keep it open for written comments until September 5th, with a decision on September 18th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
You said
Thank you
September
very
18th.
much,
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
September 18th, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna recuse myself.
Thank you. Number 9 on the agenda, Keith and Amanda Vibert, 14 Dock Road, Rensenburg, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax.
John, just let him read first, and she has to say jurisdiction before you can recuse.
Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-366-1-15.0 14. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed tennis court. 1. Section 330-6 general regulations that references Section 330-11 Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory front lot line setback of 90 feet to 63.3 feet. And 2. Section 330-76D placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts, and Section 330-83C yards to allow the tennis court to be located within the required front yard for the principal building and any other relief necessary.
What is jurisdiction, Madam Chair?
Okay.
Now I'll recuse
Mr.
myself.
Buckman is recusing himself from this discussion. Okay,
This is mine.
this is yours, so you
Name is
want to,
Robert Jones?
yes, let me, are you attorneys?
No, I'm not.
Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name separately and your addresses.
Robert Jones, I live at 19 Felix Avenue, Remsenburg.
Okay.
Amanda Vibert, 14 Dock Road, Remsenburg, New York, 11960.
Okay. So, Robert, you're going to give the presentation or start it? Okay.
I started by saying the Viverts are avid tennis players, and tennis court is a very important part of their home. When we originally filed for the application, we filed for a 120 by 60 tennis court with 47.6 setback from the front yard. And it was suggested that we change it to 55 by 110. 110, 55, correct, with 45-degree corners cut into it. The main reason for the setback issue is because of the odd shape of the property. It has the Lila Road cuts into it on the corner there. Otherwise, the front setback from Dock Road would be 135 feet and wouldn't really even be in question. The area affected by the, well, actually going back, when we changed it, they increased the front yard setback to 63.5. So it increased that by changing that and reducing the size. But the area affected by the variance is on Lila, and that corner there is heavily landscaped, and it really blocks the view from that corner where the variance is really taking place. And I do have some pictures showing.
Okay, that would be helpful if you want to give them to
I
Candace.
did give her,
Oh,
she has a copy of it, and I have another of these that you can
okay.
take a look at.
Okay, thank you.
There's another 3 different photographs.
Oh, they're 3 different. Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
we
sorry.
have
It's
enough for
basically,
everybody,
it's
so.
really that corner of Lila and really where it affects the,
So it'd be behind this hedge here.
yes,
correct?
back behind the hedge, and that's
Okay.
really very heavily landscaped.
Okay. You want to pass that down?
Oh,
They're all
sorry.
separate, different pictures.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Okay, continue.
That was really pretty straightforward, this need a variance because of that corner and the setbacks, and we did what we could to reduce the size of the tennis court to wide.
Okay, this is yours, Bob. Do you want to?
I've driven by, I know the area
extremely well. Those hedges are going to stay up a little.
Yes. There's actually another row of hedges in front of it.
Are you sinking in the court at all or no?
No.
I mean, I have no, honestly, I have no problem with it.
Okay.
Well, this is, 2 rows, 2 front yards, so that you have to deal with that, obviously. And you're, and you would commit to keeping the landscaping?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Okay. I mean, we would probably stipulate that in any variance that we would grant, that, you would have to keep it maintained and whatever.
Oh, absolutely. And in one of those pictures, you see there's an access for while the construction's going on, for,
Right, and that
to
will
get
have-
in there. And
and
that's
that
gonna
will
be
have privet.
limited.
Limited.
We had new privet going across there.
So it's only about, looks like a quarter of, I drew like a 90-foot circumference from the corner of Lila and it's only about a quarter of the tennis court is non-conforming.
It's correct. It's
Right?
a little
Just
small
because
section
of the
of
shape of the road.
Correct.
So.
It's just because of the odd shape of the
Yeah.
property that we have to do this, because otherwise, like I was saying before, it's like 130 feet off of Dock Road. It's well within conformance.
Right. All right, so anybody else on the board who wishes to comment on this? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to comment on 14 Dock Road? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to comment on 14 Dock Road? So I think, you know, we would still like that stipulation about the vegetation and the maintaining. Yeah, in the, okay.
So we're gonna close the public hearing, hold it open for written submissions until September 5th with a decision on September 18th.
Second.
Mr. Mastonia. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane. Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Now, written submissions from us or from?
From anybody in the public has a right.
Anybody.
You don't,
Or if you want to,
you want to submit something else, but
something
anybody in the
like, you
public
know.
has the right to submit something.
I think this is pretty straightforward, right?
We don't get anything,
Just
but unless it's not perfect. You would have heard them. And
Right.
we'll have a decision on the 18th.
Okay.
Did you hear
Thank
from
you.
any of your neighbors? No.
And you're either welcome to be here the 18th, or you can watch it on TV or whatever.
You don't need to.
Okay, number 10 on the agenda. The application of Gerard Perino, 28 Bonita Road, East Quogue, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-362-4-28. Applicant requests relief from the following sections of the Town Code for proposed addition and to maintain a basement in a special flood hazard area. Section 330-6, General Regulations, that references Section 330-11, Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations for front yard from 30 feet to 23.6 feet. Also, relief of Chapter 169 flood damage prevention undergoing a substantial improvement in a special flood hazard area, Section 15, standards for all structures to have a basement in a dwelling, and relief of Section 16, requirements for residential structures to leave the sunroom floor level at elevation 8 feet that is below the required design flood elevation of 10 feet and any other relief necessary.
The Candace stamp
Jurisdiction?
I apologize. Board has jurisdiction, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are either of you attorneys? No. Okay, let me swear you in. You don't, stand, you can sit. Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, please state your name and address.
Gerard Perino, 53 Mackey Avenue, Port Washington, New York, 11050.
Hi, I'm Shannon Bradley, 15 Cove Road, Southampton, New York, 11968.
So, so Shannon, you're going to do the presentation?
I am, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so as I stated, first I want to say good evening. My name is Shannon Bradley, and I'm the agent for Gerard and Ellen Perino. The applicants request relief from Town Code Section 330-11 for the Resident District Table of Dimensional Regulations. And they're requesting a total encroachment in the amount of 6.4 feet into the front yard on the east side of the dwelling, because there are two front yards. They'd like to construct a small 82 square foot storage area with a balcony above. This small addition will be attached to the existing dwelling. It is R10, the front yard setback is 30, and the storage is reduced to 23.8, so that's where I got the 6.4 from. The applicants also request relief from Town Code Section 169-15 and 169-21 of the flood damage prevention for a total relief request in the amount of 2 feet by reducing the base flood elevation from 10 feet to 8 feet. This parcel is located in a FEMA flood zone. It is an AE8. Due to the fact that the basement and the sunroom are pre-existing from 1954 and the fact that they are not being altered, the applicants request that those two structures remain, or those two elements of the structure remain on the property. The subject premises is located at 28 Bonita Road, East Quogue, Town of Southampton, County of Suffolk, State of New York. The property is identified on the Suffolk County Tax Map number as 900-362-4-28 and is 11,250 square feet in an R10 zoning district. The subject property consists currently of a single-family, two-story residence with 3 bedrooms and 1.5 baths. This is type 2 action under the State Environment Quality Review Action, SECRA, and the relevant provisions of the Southampton Town Code. The property is a small lot conforming to R10 zoning and Shinnecock Shores development. The property has 2 front yards, as it has road frontage, and it has a lagoon on the western property line. It's quite constrained. The proposal is to add an 82 square foot addition onto the east side of the house that will have a balcony above. This addition will be attached to the existing structure, or the existing house. The addition will be used for storage and will not add bedrooms to the house. The storage is extremely limited on this property, as only a crawl space basement primarily exists under the dwelling. The applicant also proposes leaving the pre-existing crawl space basement in place, as well as leaving the pre-existing sunroom. There is a proposal to add a balcony over the sunroom. These two pre-existing elements of the structure have been in place since 1954, which I already stated. The applicants feel that they are entitled to request the relief because the benefit of the applicant outweighs the detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or community by such grant. Furthermore, the applicant feels that they meet the five-part test set forth in section 330-166C of the town code, as well as the standards set forth in 267B of New York State law as follows. We feel there's no undesirable change that will be produced in the character of the neighborhood, nor will the detriment to nearby properties be created by granting the dimensional relief, as the neighborhood consists of many similar homes that are 2 stories and they're all on small lots. The benefit sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by any other method feasible for the applicant to pursue. Given the small size of the lot and the 2 front yards caused by the road frontage and placement of a lagoon. 3, the relief request is not substantial, as the storage addition is only 82 square feet, which is going to be attached to the existing principal structure. 4, the proposed variance based on the facts, circumstances of this particular application will not have adverse effect or impact on the physical environment conditions. And 5, the variance requests are not self-created, as the crawl space and basement and sunroom are pre-existing and are not being altered. Construction of the 82-foot storage addition has not begun yet. As far as the town code section relates to 169-21, before I read this, I just want to know if it's lengthy, I just want to know if you would like me to give you, the answers or the rebuttals to that code as far as what we believe and feel.
Go ahead. You're making your presentation.
Okay, as far as Town Code Section 169-21 relates, the applicant strongly believes that no dangerous materials will be swept onto other lands causing injury to others. Number 2, the danger to life due to flooding or erosion damage does not apply to the crawl space or basement, as it will only be used for storage of personal property, and no life will be lost, as no one will be recreating nor sleeping in that area. Property items stored in the crawl space basement could be damaged in a flood, but that would be solely the responsibility of the homeowner to handle. It will not present danger to life. Number 3, the susceptibility of the proposed facility and its contents to flood damage and the effect of such damage to the individual owner would be minimal, as the owner only plans to store outdoor furniture in that space. There are no services provided by the proposed facility to the community. Number 5 was not applicable. Number 6, the crawl space, basement, and sunroom are in pre-existing location from 1954, and it would be financially a hardship for the homeowners to relocate them. The proposed use is compatible with the neighborhood. That's number 7. Number 8, the proposed use is for storage, and if granted the variance, it fits with the comprehensive plan and floodplain management program in the area. Number 9, the proposed storage addition and relief from the base flood elevation 10 foot down to 8 foot does not affect the safety access to the property in times of flood for ordinary and emergency vehicles. Number 10, there's no cost to local government, and there are no dangers associated with conducting search and rescue operations during periods of flooding if requested relief is granted. Number 11 wasn't applicable. Number 12, there will be no cost of providing government services during and after flood conditions, including search and rescue operations and maintenance and repair of public utilities and facilities such as sewer, gas, electric, and water systems, and streets and bridges if the requested relief is granted. The applicants and I would like to thank you for your consideration, and I am happy to answer any questions that you might have. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. This is John, so do you want to start us off, John?
Yeah, I really just have one question about that shed coming out. It just seems that all the other houses
I spent some time on the street, are set further back, that like just sticks out. It
Yeah,
makes
it
that
sticks
front
out about 5
so, I don't know, it just seems to affect, that's the one thing I did not think
We had it,
the look.
it's not gonna be that bad. Here's the
Not big,
problem.
but there's nothing on your houses set on either side, set out that far. That's only my only question, really.
The storage area being this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
And you
the
said
front
it-
yard is only set back, yeah, but it makes that setback very little, it's only 23 feet from the street.
You do refer to it aesthetically as a shed.
Yeah.
The way that it was designed onto the front of the
I'm
house.
not saying it's not designed well. I'm just
Right.
saying that it just seems to me.
Right, right.
I'm pretty open, is that it just seems like it sticks out compared, like the setbacks of houses, usually when one comes out too much further than the other houses.
Right. Well, it's 5 feet out,
Yeah.
to answer your question. I just want
Right.
to, I
It
just want
comes
to
out
show a
5 feet.
picture.
But we have an island in front too, right? So we have the street and then an island which is about 70 feet wide, and then we have the street across from that too. There's no houses in front
But
of
there
it.
are the houses down the rest of the street.
There
No,
are.
I did. I
There
couldn't
are.
find anything.
Here's the
That's
thing.
my only thing that really aesthetically bothered me about
Right.
it.
Everything we had to do, right? We're gonna get 20 feet of seagrass in the backyard on that small piece of property. I can't put a shed in the backyard. I can't have a basement. I can't have an attic. I don't know where I'm gonna put a
You do have the
Christmas tree.
space for the storage that you want to.
No.
No, but there's no.
No, I know, that's
You're
being,
gonna put outdoor furniture in it.
I wanna put outdoor furniture in there, but I don't even have a place to put a Christmas tree.
That's my only comment on that.
Right,
that
no, I
it's sort of,
understand. It will stick out a little bit more, but there are houses in that neighborhood, I didn't look, and they
I
do
couldn't
have
find
like
one.
porches that go out a little bit more. It's, we're having the garage go out, but I need some place to put
I'm
something.
not saying it
What
looks
is your
bad.
setback?
I'm just saying
Oh,
that-
nice.
Your setback of the existing garage is 28.8 feet, is that correct?
Right, and this brings it to 23.8. and
Okay,
the
so it's
original
5
That's
feet.
being converted to livable space. So
It's not livable, it's
Storage.
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 No, the garage is going to be a little bit.
The garage.
Garage is
Garage is
convertible.
being, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So you have the biggest house in the neighborhood, in my view.
I don't know if I do.
Well,
It's not that wide.
I went there, I looked around, it's big, and I share John's concern about the bump out in the front. And, as far as, complying with the floodplain ordinance that exists for a reason, and I don't think that it should be varied in this instance, and I don't see, what's the compelling case for failing to comply with that, other than you'd rather not, which I
No,
understand.
we took this very seriously. So Shinnecock Shores lots are very constrained as far as you have to work with wetlands and Marty, and you have revegetation, and you have buffer, so you're shrunk in the back. So then you have, it's actually 2 front yards, so you have the setbacks, it really constrains you. So all the homeowners in this area have to really seriously consider what their building envelope is and what they can have, within their, within the zoning. So they very carefully thought about it. It's not that they just wouldn't rather have it. They don't have any storage. You can't put a storage shed in the front.
You
So
had a
they
garage and you decided to convert it into space, and now you're here telling us you have no storage.
Right, but they're very small homes to begin with.
Oh,
So
I
they're just
understand
trying
that.
to have, convert that into habitable space for living space.
I mean, the reason my kids, one kid is just getting married. The other one is gonna be getting married. I want my kids to come to a place that's comfortable. The way the place was before was really a small little cabin, the way it was. It wasn't really comfortable to be there. There was no place, anybody could even lay around. So we kind of made the house, the first floor, a little bit more convenient for people to be there and hang out together. And upstairs, we moved the bedrooms upstairs. There's not.
Maybe you have little permits for that already then.
Yeah, I mean, every property in this town has limitations to the physics of space, size, and wishes, right? So,
We did carefully plan and execute a meeting with the chief building inspector in reference to the building standard and codes for FEMA, and we did actually receive approval to file for this variance. We thought it was very important that we met with somebody in reference to that before we came to you. And there is a form that we had filled out after a lengthy meeting with Mr. McDermott, and we did discuss the
you know, the danger to life and property and whatnot. And he did sign this is a code enforcement official variance questionnaire. He did sign it that he was in favor of letting us come here. So it wasn't like we just came here on a whim and didn't consider, you know, just that, you know, that it wasn't a
If I
very.
ask you something about the basement crawl space, do you have any electrical equipment down there?
That's all out. Everything's coming out. There's
So
not gonna be no
everything that's
electric or anything.
electrical is out.
Everything's
We
out.
have in the past agreed to allow these basements to exist with the caveat that you hold the town harmless and, you know, everything that you mentioned in your, I mean, so because.
Right, but this basement and this sunroom have existed since 1954, correct?
Correct.
So what we would be doing by denying you this variance would be requiring you to pull it out, would we not? And that would be.
Fill it in, I think,
or-
it's fill it in, yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
Right.
Either way, and that's costly,
It's gonna
correct?
be a lot of
Very
money.
costly for Mr. Perino
But
to
I-
do
but I
that.
do
It is a
think there's-
hardship.
And
We do
deprives
feel-
you of space that you've used in the past.
I think there's a way to get around it.
Man, I've been doing everything they asked for. It's been 3.5 years trying to build this house.
Yeah, I'm not so concerned about the sunroom. I'm not concerned about the basement. It's existed since 1954.
Like-
There haven't been any major issues, I believe.
But I do want some stipulations, like you know, that you reflected in your presentation, that if we agree to allow the variance to exist, that you agree that it's for, you know, no liability, you know, you take full responsibility.
I think it should also,
Limit what it can be used for.
if the house is ever sold and demolished, that it cannot be
Absolutely.
rebuilt.
We,
Absolutely.
in our
My kids
discussion,
will kill me
I
if
would
it's
be happy
in
with.
our discussion with the chief building inspector, we thought to come up with an idea, because I see it on the plans often, of them stamping on the building and it carries over to the certificate of compliance. No sleeping, no cooking, whatever they need to stamp on that through the building department. We thought that would be addressed there, and he agreed that that was a good idea as well. So Mr. Perino's very open to doing that with the pre-existing crawl space basement, and I guess it was something we're very willing to do.
And the other thing on that bump out, we had it on the plans for 3.5 years. My previous expediter, Kevin Springer, came and met probably about 3 times with you guys, and he told me, oh, it's all approved. So what do? We went out to get all the materials to build it. I have $20,000 worth of materials sitting there.
Nobody's here to complain about it.
Nobody's
Well, have
complaining.
you heard from your neighbors?
Yeah, they were fine. I just spoke to Mario across the street today.
One of your neighbors, the house is considerably larger than yours. Your next door neighbor is considerably larger than yours and also has a shed in the back.
I have a picture
Exactly.
of that.
I think the house
This house right here is
Can I
enormous. in
just
comparison
ask
to
you
yours.
something about, you know, one of there is a variance that you received for pyramid relief,
There is a variance.
that you received for pyramid relief.
That is correct.
And when I looked at the plans, the final plans, you built something considerably less than what the variance
Right.
covered.
We did.
So what I'm going to suggest is that when we approve, if we approve this variance, that we approve it with the survey and the plans that show the reduced pyramid, so that you can't come back and say, well, you gave us 2,400, you know, before.
It's fine.
So this is the limitation.
Okay.
So whatever is on your plans now is what it is.
Once
I
it's
mean,
built,
is that
I'm done.
fair, Kathleen?
This has been a nightmare.
Absolutely. I do have a question. Do you need a variance from the state of New York for that?
Yes,
Right,
there
so
will
in
be
the-
one filed. So what it is New York State requires us to come here first.
I understand. So just for the board's information, in the past, you have conditioned any relief on that variance, that state variance being obtained.
Okay. And do you agree with me in terms of the, you know, hold harmless and the liability issues and?
We don't really, we've talked about this before, and it did come up in this previous case,
Yeah, there's another
Hamid
case.
Mutabar, in February of 2024. Don't know that a hold harmless is appropriate, but certainly if the state requires the variance, or withdrawn, if the state grants the variance, then we can condition ours on that. My understanding is that there was a conversation, I can't speak to it because Katie was counsel, about a hold harmless, and they did not do one. If applicant's willing to sign a hold harmless, I would recommend that.
Yeah, I don't see the downside.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't
I agree.
either. I would really like to see
I'm
that.
even, I think this is a mistake that we're even considering this, but, you know, the board gets to decide what it wants to do. Ludicrous
of the
that we're even
basement,
having this
Kevin?
conversation. But, okay.
I missed something.
No, you didn't miss anything.
It was like dun, dun, dun.
All right, so the fact is that we would condition any variance that we would grant you on the basis of the state also granting you a variance. And
Yeah,
you'd be
sure.
willing to sign a hold harmless.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing I'm putting in the basement is furniture, because I don't want, things get windy over there in the wintertime. I can't have anything outside.
Yeah.
I have to have someplace to put that outdoor
And
furniture.
you know, again, Kevin, this is a 1954.
I understand that, but
I understand what you're saying also.
what are you gonna do when the other homeowners all ask for the same thing? And they say, we get the same treatment?
The other homeowners are coming in, if they take the house down, number one, then that's a whole different, it's not a
No,
1954.
they're all gonna do the same thing. And the whole point of a floodplain ordinance is to make houses conform to the floodplain rules of today, not protect the way houses were built in 1954 when we didn't have the knowledge of what we now know today. Sea level's only rising, it's not going lower.
true.
Floodplain ordinances will only get more strong, not less strong. And why on earth would we approve something that is contrary to everything that's read about storm and flood damage concerns?
So
I think it's a
Kevin,
bad idea. I'm done, because.
No, I think you make some very, very cogent points.
but Kevin, may I ask though, would you have them fill it in? Is that what you see as?
I'm sorry?
Would you have them fill the space in and make it
Yeah,
unusable?
conform to the floodplain ordinance.
They would have to demolish the sunroom and to fill in the basement. That is not a small feat.
Other people have to do that?
No, I think we're asking, I think that would be asking too much of them, considering this has been there since 1954.
Was the assumption in the first variance granted that would happen?
No.
I don't think we know that.
Meaning assumption, meaning fill it in. They were not asked to fill it in the first variance. No, the
Was it
first
even,
variance.
did it even come up? Did the base?
No, it
It
didn't.
come
And the
up.
first variance application, so I wasn't even gonna bring up the first variance application. I could tell you about the first variance, but as far as the application and it coming before the board, the prior permitter who represented Mr. and Mrs. Perino did not verbally ask you for the 5 feet. He made an error, but you guys stamped a plan that approved it. This gentleman's had 3 years of trouble because there's been a discrepancy in the paperwork. I wasn't even gonna bring it up. I was just gonna start fresh. I have it here. I don't think that it's pertinent to say so-and-so did this or did that. We're here. We're reapplying. The base flood elevation was not brought up. He was not asked at that variance hearing to fill that in. I think that was in the process when they went to building, right, after you got the variance?
Yes.
So what building said is, please go back and request the 5 feet, because in the decision, it doesn't read. In the application, it didn't read from Kevin Springer, but he somehow got you guys to stamp a plan that shows that 5-foot bump out. Nothing was ever discussed.
What about the basement? Was the basement even discussed?
No.
See,
And who raised the basement first?
No, who raised it?
Yeah, was
The
it the
building
building
department.
Apartment.
But they
Well,
said they would
look,
be okay.
I think this situation, I think this situation is very different from a situation, Kevin, where somebody is coming in looking to build a new structure and asking for the basement and asking for that footage. That to me seems very different, and that to me seems offensive from a flood FEMA protection standpoint. This, the building's been like this since the 50s. I just can't see us putting such a burden on this applicant to demolish a whole portion of the structure.
Also,
It's not a small section. No, there's a sunroom that has to be removed.
So
There's an entire part of the house would have to be removed.
How deep is the basement right now?
6 feet.
6 feet.
So also, Kevin, I just want to be
And-
sure
and
I
it's-
understand your issue.
It's a crawl, well,
The risk of maintaining that basement crawl space, call it what you will, other than it's been flagged, is all on the homeowner. if something goes wrong. If there's a flood, it's on them. So when I add that to what John has said about the burden of asking them to fill it in, do what has to be done to the sunroom, I'm not appreciating your
Where's the
objection.
crawl space in comparison? Where is the crawl space? Is it the whole house? Is it under the entire
It's
house?
under the entire house.
Is it
but
under the sunroom?
It is under, yeah, it is, but it's only about maybe 12 feet by 10 feet. The rest of it is, cinder block walls that come up.
Right.
And the rest of the house is, underneath it is all sand.
It's all sand,
Yeah.
okay.
So can I just hear from Kevin, because I want to be sure I'm not missing something
So,
that I ought to be considering.
Here's the concern, right? I'm not making this up, right? The code says that this should be done. So
I get that part,
we're being asked to vary it.
yes.
And the presumption is, well, why, right? And the answer just can't be, well, the house was built in 1954, because the whole point of having a code changed over time is to bring existing housing stock into that conformity, right? And so the issue is before us. I can't go back, no one's knocking on somebody's door saying, hi, I'm here to fill your basement, right? But if you come in for a major renovation of substantial size and a whole lot of work is getting done on the property, and then the building inspector says, hey, for whatever the reasons that happened, I wasn't here, they're saying now this has to be brought into conformity. I have to be persuaded compellingly that should be done, and I'm not hearing it. So I may be in a minority, and that's fine.
No, I just want to
right?
be sure I understood your
And we
objection.
should just do our business.
A question I would have is, you can't, look, the sunroom is a 216 square foot part of the structure that you would be asking them to demolish. It's also a one story, so you would have to, there's a roof to it as well, I presume, that would have to be repaired in order to put the house back in.
The whole house is being gutted right now.
So you
In
had
some
just
manner.
said that it's not compelling because you said that we referred to it as, I just have to give a rebuttal, that the only reason we're giving you is because the house was pre-existing from 1954. In all due respect, I did mention that it's a financial hardship. I mentioned that there's a lack of storage. It's not just because of the age of the house, of the basement and the sunroom. What happened is when the original application came in, they were going to add a second story and move the 3 bedrooms to the upstairs so that they could have larger living space downstairs. And just let me know if I'm going correctly with this. They're not adding any bedrooms. I see a lot of different applications where people are adding a lot of things. They made the house bigger, but their storage got smaller, and we do want to request that they don't have to fill that in. It's not only because of the age of the house. That is predominantly a very good reason, we feel. We did take the time to meet with other departments to go over what could be done down there to bring it as close to today's day of age by putting flood vents in, pumps, anything that we could look in the FEMA guidelines.
No electric in there.
Right, we were gonna waterproof it, all the things that are in there, the homeowner is very willing to do. It's just, he wants to.
What part is the existing one-story dwelling being gutted and?
It's already
No,
done.
it's
They're
already
working
done.
on it already. The house is being
It's
worked
already
on.
done. So, in here,
Okay.
it says mine says 2-story, it does say.
Okay, so what I was going to say earlier was, I don't think that we can bifurcate this and choose to enforce one part of this flood rule and not another. So I would never require you to demolish the sunroom.
Thank you. Okay.
And so then the question becomes, well, can we then selectively say, oh, but you have to fill in the basement? And I don't see that we would be able to do that. I don't see that there's
I think
a
we could do
path to
that if we wanted to.
I don't
We're
think
looking-
that would make sense.
Well, it may
for
not
us
make
to do.
sense, but I don't think it's off the table totally, so.
I understand that, but I can't even put a shed in the backyard because of the seagrass. It's taking up half my backyard. It's not a big property. I can't use anything in the front because I have to have now the new septic system. So now we have to put a retaining wall in the front. There's no storage anywhere. Everything's been taken away. I'm trying to build a house that we can retire to and live in. And it's a house that it's just a house. It's nowhere I can put anything.
You bought a house on a modest lot that has a modest house, and
With the intentions of hopefully one day.
you know, I'd love to have a half-acre house on a quarter-acre lot. It just doesn't fit, right? I mean, that's sort of the problem.
We're
you
building
have,
up
sir,
on.
with all due respect.
We're building up on the foundation. We didn't do anything outside of that foundation. The footprint is what the footprint is. All I wanted to do was put the bedrooms upstairs.
Right, and the size of the house has nothing to do with filling in the basement.
Yeah. We
Let's
could
get out of
debate
here.
all night long.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this matter? Do you want to say anything? Okay. Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this matter? I guess not. Okay.
John Shores. So, am I gonna close it with written comments for 8.5? 9.5. 9.5.
Well, I think before we do close it, let's go through what we, at a minimum need. We need a stipulation that it is no electric in the basement, that you talked about flood vents and all that other stuff. I would like very much to see what your plan is for that. I would like a hold harmless.
982.
And obviously, any variance that we would grant to you would be subject to the state giving us the variance approval first.
Sure.
So I would probably hold it open until we receive that variance approval, because if we don't get it, then that's gonna be our decision.
But what about the bump out? Because that's holding the whole project up.
We generally don't split, our decisions like that. Kathleen, do you have a comment on it?
The board can grant your relief, you can condition it on them receiving the state variance. I don't know if the state is going to process your application without this variance.
That's what I wanted to
So-
touch on with you,
Okay.
Kathleen. We were
Right.
told that the state does not.
Right, so they may be
The
looking for the
application, they're
local
waiving.
weigh-in, for the local municipality to weigh in
Okay,
first.
okay.
But that doesn't mean that you can't
Right.
condition
So we should
any and all.
close.
All right, so then,
Okay, but
that does
Susan-
make sense, but I do want some sort of a written statement from you that's gonna cover the objects that we were just talking about.
I'd like it to also include that if this building is ever demolished, that it will, that it will not cover
Well, no,
a new
the
building.
variance disappears with any new construction.
And the greater variance that was granted in the past
Yes,
is
we have to reflect-
expunged, or whatever the right word would
Is,
be.
the 2,400 whatever,
Vacated.
cubic feet is no longer. So if we grant a new variance, it
Oh,
supersedes.
no. I was trying to write down what you were saying, and I just gave up. 'Cause I just put stipulation outlining.
Okay, all right.
Variance for that bump out because
Well,
we
we're gonna
can't
consider
sign the
that.
house.
No, all right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to close, I'm talking for Bob, but we're gonna close
John.
it's John, sorry. We're gonna close the public hearing, keep it open for written comments, and we'll have a decision date. And that decision date will include the bump out. Okay? But it is conditioned on getting the state variance. So we still have to wait for the state variance, right?
You don't have to,
Don't.
the building department has to wait.
Okay, so we could grant conditioned on that you've got to get the state variance for the basement and, whatever.
We would condition
Get
it?
The state variance without the town municipal, without a variance from you guys.
So we could say, say we approve the basement issue. But the building department's not gonna let you, explain it, Kathleen, you're still held in abeyance.
I would borrow the language from one that you've done previously to the extent that you're inclined to grant this, which would say, the granting of this relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicants have already acquired or may otherwise have to require for final approval of the subject premises, including securing a variance from the Department of State prior to the issuance of any further permits or certificates from the town.
Okay.
But the state has nothing to do with this bump out, right?
We don't
Has to do with the
So they
FEMA.
can't break
issue.
they can't break
The
the.
flood issues.
we can't break the request in half.
No,
So
it's-
we can't, we've asked
We
for
can't,
two.
partially
different
approve it and
things.
partially hold it up, and, we generally just,
I think the building department, and tell me if I'm wrong, the building department may be able to.
Allow them to move
Because
forward.
When people ask for multiple variances, you can, because the variance runs with the land, they can take portions of that variance. So every time they get a permit, they have to keep submitting that variance. As long as that chapter 169 doesn't affect the bump out, he may be able to, that's something you have to find out from the building department.
Because that's.
Whereas
So
the board is saying they can't separate their
we don't
decision.
separate, but the building department may be able to.
separate your
Because that's
permits.
holding everything
I
back,
don't know.
because if we can't side the house, we can't do the
I
electric.
understand,
And then without the electric, we can't do this, it's just.
but that's out of our jurisdiction,
Right,
so
okay.
we look at the whole, right.
So do you want a sixth condition? Do you want to hold harmless from the
Yes.
homeowner?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 6 conditions. No electric in the basement, which there's not going to be, but we will, that's in the building plan, it shows that. Flood vents is something that I think we have to add in. If the building ever gets demolished, that this variance doesn't carry over to
Correct. To a new
a
structure.
new structure. And then
And the
we.
basement would be filled in.
And the basement would be filled in. And then the greater variance we're giving up to what exists now for pyramid height.
Right, the
Okay.
existing pyramid height.
And then a hold harmless from the homeowner.
Yes.
Well, you did a very good job.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else that we didn't mention? Okay. All right, John, this is yours.
All right, so we're closing with written comments for 9/5
Okay.
and a decision on 9/18.
Second.
Mr. Redford.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. King. Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a good night.
Number 12 on the agenda, OAF New Horizon Homes Incorporated, 10 Sagamore Road, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-230-1-19. Thank you.
I'm sorry?
Finalmente.
Hello.
Okay, I've sworn you in before, and you've come back
Yes, ma'am.
with some new ideas, so why don't you tell us about that?
Okay, so I went back to the drawing table. We were able to move the pool back further in now. And it's like a little bit back a little bit than the neighbor's pool. And I think we parallel this point with the neighbor's pool. So I was able to move this, the new IA system from the back to the front. I thought that I was not able to do that, but I am able to do it. So instead of leaving the IA system on the back, that was shifting the pool towards the front because it had to be 20 feet from the IA system. So it was putting me on the front. So I was able to move it back. So we're gonna reroute the IA system to the front of the house now. So it gave me the setbacks to the back now. So
What is the setback relief you need now?
it would be 39 feet, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
40
It's,
feet.
40 feet, yeah, sorry, thank you, ma'am.
it's no further than the front of the house now, right?
No, it's like.
It's back from the front of the
Yeah,
house.
mhm, towards the.
Are you looking at a changed plan? Because I'm,
Yes, I submitted change
Oh.
plans, yeah.
Yeah.
I submitted 10 copies.
It's in the,
did that,
Submittals.
it's in the submittals.
oh, sorry, I didn't.
So it lines up with the back of the house.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it lines up with the back of
Yes,
the house.
yes, ma'am.
You see it, Kevin?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, got it.
The only thing you didn't do was make it a little bit smaller. Did you give that some consideration?
Looking at what my neighbor had, I think we have the same size of pool, and it's not further from the more, it's towards the back now, so I put that.
What's the pool, 20 by 40?
20
No,
by
it's less than
35.
that. It's less than that.
Well,
I moved it back.
you did.
You did move it back.
You listen better than some other people, but thank you.
And you moved the AI system.
Well, that was the question that we had last time, whether you could do that. and he looked
Whether
into it
whether
and
you
he
would
did.
have the room to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, you gain 20 feet in the front.
You got it.
20 feet in the front. That was good.
And you know, I think we talked about this the last time about vegetation.
Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, some sort of like a, you know, screening. So you would agree to screening? Did you put that in the plan or not?
No, I did not. I didn't do it at all.
You're gonna do the pool first and then the IA system,
The IA system, and then I have to see what, I don't know.
only because
That they have to do it first.
no other way to do it. Yes, okay.
All right, but there will be screening, so we
Yes,
could.
of course, ma'am. I have to have
Okay.
privacy on my property.
Okay.
Uh,
In the pool.
No one wants to see.
Any other comments from the board?
No.
So this was yours, Kevin.
Thank you for your.
We're assuming,
Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this matter? Okay, Kevin, this is yours.
all right. So I'm gonna suggest, I'm gonna move to close the hearing with written comments accepted up until 9/5 with a decision on 9/18.
Second.
Thank
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Kane? Aye. Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Aye. Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
for your time.
you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with everything, sir.
Okay, let's get to decisions.
Up to the decisions.
Okay, let's see who's up for decisions. All right, John Leonard,
Okay.
minor decision.
I have a minor decision in the matter of Catherine Hickey, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-319-6-28. This application is for property located at 68 Homewood Drive, East Quogue. Applicant requests a minor variance for a proposed front covered porch on a non-conforming lot. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Town Code Section 330-11 Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for a principal front yard setback of 32.8 feet where 40 feet is required for a proposed front covered porch, as shown on the survey prepared by Michael Minto, LS, last revised October 19, 2024, and the floor plans and elevations prepared by Jason M. Ormond, RA, dated January 8, 2025. Grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises, including the relocation of the shed to a conforming location as shown on the aforementioned survey.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia? Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. All right, Helen's got one. Would you like to read this, Kevin?
Sure.
A minor.
Okay, this is a motion in the matter of Andrew, or I'm making the motion in the matter of Andrew and Lisa Hoffman, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-368-5-31. This application is for a property located at 26 Bridle Path, Remsenburg. Applicant requests a minor variance for a proposed addition and covered porch, outdoor kitchen on a lot burdened by 2 front yards. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Town Code Section 330-11 Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for a principal front yard setback from the north property line, Mark Court, of 45.2 feet, where 60 feet is required for a proposed addition, and of 45.6 feet for a proposed covered porch / outdoor kitchen addition, as shown on the survey prepared by Floyd Carrington, licensed surveyor, last redated June 30th, 2025, and the floor plans and elevations prepared by William Frederick Heine, registered architect, dated July 15th, 2025. Grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, I have a minor decision in the matter of Barry Gordon, excuse me, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-104-2-21. This application is for property located at 153 Summerfield Lane, Watermill. applicant requests minor variances for a proposed 55 by 110 foot sunken tennis court that will be screened on all sides. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Town Code Section 330-11 Resident Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory side yard setback of 15.3 feet, where 20 feet is required from both the north and south property lines for a proposed 55 by 110 foot sunken tennis court, as shown on the survey prepared by William R. Simmons, 3rd LS, dated June 9, 2025. Grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises, including the installation and maintenance by the applicant and all successors in title of heavy vegetative screening on all four sides of the court, as shown on the Plot 1 sheet prepared by Charles Kuhn, R.A., received by this board on July 30th, 2025.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard. Ms. Kane. Mr. Redmond. Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, I've got another Helen. All right, who would like to take it?
I'll read it.
All right, here you go. There are two of them, actually.
I didn't agree with that. The Betsy M. Blattmacher Trust of 2011 Suffolk County Town Map 900-96-1-38. Applicant requests a single and separate determination for a non-conforming landlocked lot. After reviewing the testimony and evidence presented, this board finds that the subject premises, that is Suffolk County Town Map 900-96-1-38, is held in single and separate ownership from all adjacent parcels and thus is entitled to relief pursuant to Town Code Section 330-115D. As proposed by the applicant, this decision is conditioned upon the merging of the premises and adjacent lot, Suffolk County Town Map 900-96-1-25, within 1 year of the date of this decision. Grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay. The Betsy M. Blattmacher Trust of 2011 Suffolk County Town Map 900-96-1-25. Applicant requests, excuse me, a single and separate determination for a non-conforming lot located at 20 Parish Road. After reviewing the testimony and evidence presented, this board finds that the subject premises, that is Suffolk County Town Map 900-96-1-25, is held in single and separate ownership from all adjacent parcels and thus is entitled to relief pursuant to Town Code Section 330-115D. As proposed by the applicant, this decision is conditioned upon the merging of the premises and adjacent lot, Suffolk County Town Map 96-1-38, within 1 year of the date of this decision. Grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Votes aye. Okay, John L.
Okay, I have a decision in the application of John and Meredith Noonan, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-230-1-15. This application is for property located at 284 East Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays. Applicants request variances for the reconstruction and expansion of a one-family dwelling on a lot containing two one-family dwellings in the RBW zoning district. This board finds that the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for the proposed reconstruction and expansion of a one-story dwelling on a non-conforming parcel containing two one-family dwellings. 1. Town Code Section 330-116 extension as it relates to Town Code Section 330-167B, specific specific types of variances for a 40% expansion, and 2, Town Code Section 330-34 Business Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for a total side yard of 56 feet 1.5 inches where 100 feet is required, and a minimum side yard setback of 26 feet 6.5 inches where 50 feet is required. These variances are granted as shown on the survey prepared by Ralph Q. Heil, dated May 1, 2025, and the floor plans and elevations prepared by Paul J. Clinton, September 23, 2024. This decision is subject to the conditions of such other permits as the applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises, including ensuring that no stormwater runoff be discharged into the adjoining body of water.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Mastoni.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, I have a decision in the matter of Dana R. Rubin and Robert J. Gottlieb, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-4-1-73. This application is for property located at 60 Noyak Harbor Road, Noyak. Applicants request variances to convert an existing accessory building into an accessory apartment on a nonconforming lot where all buildings currently exist on that nonconforming lot. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants the following relief from Town Code Section 330-11-2, Special Standards for a proposed accessory apartment in an existing accessory building. 1, to allow an accessory apartment to be located on a lot that is less than 30,000 square feet. 2, for a lot area of 20,437 square feet where 32,000 square feet is required, 80% of the required 40,000 square feet. 3, for a lot width of 70 feet where 105 feet is required, 70% of the required 150 feet. 4, for a total side yard of 28.3 feet where a minimum of 42 feet is required, 70% of the required 60 feet. 5, for a minimum side yard setback of 13.9 feet where 14 feet is required, 70% of the required 20 feet. And 6, for an accessory side yard setback of 10.2 feet where 14 feet is required, 70% of the required 20 feet. These variances are granted as shown on the survey prepared by Jeffrey W. Hatterer, LS, last dated March 19, 2025, and the plans and elevations prepared by Sean F. Leonard, RA, dated March 18, 2025. Grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Mastoni.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Abstain.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Abstain.
Abstain. All right, chair votes aye. Okay, Bob.
Okay. This is for South Dune Builders, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-380-1-27. This application is for property located at 4 Cricket Path, Remsenburg. Applicant requests variances for proposed first and second story additions to a pre-existing dwelling on a long and narrow lot. This application passes the standards as set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed first and second story additions. 1, for proposed second story addition, Town Code 330-84D, period law for a total sky plane encroachment to the south of 550 cubic feet, and 2, for the proposed one-story Town Code 330-115C, continuance for a principal rear yard setback of 55.43 feet where 56 feet is existing for the proposed one-story addition, and for a setback of 53.97 feet for proposed roof over patio, all shown on the site plan dated April 2nd, 2025, and plans and elevations printed March 3rd, 2025, of Alexander Joseph Kahn, registered architect. The grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Mastoni.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Do I have a motion to
Motion to close.
All in
Second.
favor? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.